So they plant two people in the bathroom. I'm a Nigerian, and they abused me so much for the past 15 years. Anytime I try to use the bathroom in this country, it's trouble, trouble, trouble. Since I sued their police, my friend Eric has been killed. So their MTA CEO said he's going to permanently remove homeless from the subway. So there are plenty of people to fight me. And the doctors do say that, one of the greatest risks for incontinence is when somebody, doesn't have easy access to the bathroom. It will cause their bladder to rupture. It weakens the bladder muscle. And if they keep doing this to me, you know, by the time I get it, I'm 44 right now, but, they're going to render me in diapers. My mother also, before she died, because we never had good housing, we always had to share bathrooms. And when we rented our own apartment, the police came and removed us from a studio apartment, basement apartment we rented. So before my mother died, she was peeing on herself. And they would call the police on me every bathroom I used, especially at the Staten Island Ferry, at the South Ferry train station, one train. Then on Mother's Day, around Mother's Day, I was trying to use the bathroom and this Indian guy did like this to me. This year, around May 20th, around the time my mother was killed, an Indian guy did like this to me. I said, I was about to use the bathroom. He said, don't use the women's bathroom, you don't look like a woman. I said, okay, stop insulting me, stop making fun of my, my appearance. Gender harassment against the woman. And apparently a kid and the mother came to use the bathroom also. And those ones were blocking the door to the bathroom, were blocking the bathroom. There's only two stalls in there. And they plant two black women, one is African, one is black American. And they will both be blocking the bathrooms, creating a stampede. As soon as I got into the bathroom, then the woman and the kid came and they were almost bumping into my stuff. I'm like, okay, don't bring your child to be bumping into me. There's really no need to be creating a stampede in the bathroom, whatever you're trying to do. Because usually the bathroom closes at 12. So the cleans at 12. And it was almost 12 o'clock, when I came out to use the bathroom. I fell asleep on the train because they tire me so much. I'm already anemic. It's like they go through my medical files. And if you have anemia, then I was 12. Before I got, I was before 12. By the time I got, I was before 12. Hello, don't bump into me. And I said the worst thing you can do to an anemic person like me is to keep stressing them out. They could die of exhaustion. So they're looking through people's medical files. I'm a Nigerian, and I used to, when my mother brought me in 2000, the immigration arrested me, said they don't allow children here with green card holders, and which was a lie. They have this emergency visa they could have given me, because there's a law that they can't separate the mother and the child. Parents and little children. There's a Family Reunification Act signed by the Congress, and the local laws here say they can't separate. And they never charged those immigration officers with kidnap. My mother said it was a kidnap. They shouldn't have separated me from her, but nobody cared. 8 years I went to court, and my mother had a heart attack in between. Then a dress finally killed her because they started saying that I was suitable for a lawsuit to get money from the immigration and the police. So my mother said her daughters in Pennsylvania, Bolani and Flora, lured her to come to Pennsylvania because we had become homeless. The police had removed me and my mother from our Staten Island apartment, threw us out on the street. So in 2015, the daughters lured my mother to come stay with them in Pennsylvania, and she didn't live a year. They got her killed. My mother said at some point they were putting cancer-free poison in my mother's food. All of a sudden, as soon as my mother moved to Pennsylvania, her heart problems was triggered. She had to end up in the hospital. She's been managing that heart problem since 2003. She's been doing fine because she had a heart attack when we both lived in. When my court case was going on in the immigration court in 2002, she had a heart attack. And she's been managing that heart problem. She even went to Nigeria. The doctor healed her. A Nigerian prophet healed her. She had aortic dissection at first. and went to Nigeria around 2003, 4, and she got healed. You know, that they requested that she do a surgery, and she put it in her in her. I went to visit her in the hospital, Coney Island Hospital, and the doctors told me they require her to do surgery because she had aortic dissection, and they said that the aorta will continue to tear, perforate. She doesn't have surgery, and she said she wanted to seek religious healing. You know, she said she wanted to seek religious healing, and the doctors told me that it's very important she does that surgery. I was like, whatever she chooses, that is what you should abide by. And the doctor was like, okay, and they released her from the hospital in 2003. Even though Address had framed her in 2001 that she was crazy. So in 2001, I called because my mother, I had an immigration case, and she was so worried about my immigration case in 2001. She was so worried about my immigration case in 2001. She, she was so worried because when she brought me in 2000, immigration arrested me. So in 2001, my lawyer stopped showing up in court. My lawyer was mad disrespectful to me, and this was why my lawyer became so mad disrespectful to me. So in that 2001, I was misdiagnosed as crazy. I have cross eyes, intermittent cross eyes, intermittent strabismus. So I didn't have insurance in 2001. I didn't have medical insurance. I was under 21. So I asked my mother's daughters to please give me money so I can go to the doctor to treat my eye condition. And they looked at me and was like, you don't really have cross eye. You should just claim you're crazy. And that would that would help you. So you're just excessively worried. You're just worried. As I do have cross eye, but those doors are very manipulative. And they convinced me to go and seek a psychiatrist. That I'm just overly worried about my eye being crossed. I was like, I read online that there's a condition called intermittent strabismus that causes people's eyes to cross on and off. So I went to a Russian psychiatrist due to the manipulation from my mother's daughters. In 2001, I went to a psychiatrist, a Russian psychiatrist. I think she's Russian, but she's not an Eastern European. I don't know what country she's from Eastern Europe. I would assume Russia. So I went to a psychiatrist and explained to the psychiatrist that I do have cross eye, but some people are trying to convince me to seek a psychiatrist instead. I said my eye crosses intermittently on and off, and the doctor, I don't think she speaks English that good, so she was like, she doesn't really see my eyes as crossed, so she's just going to diagnose me with delusional disorder. And some people do assume they have cross eye when they don't. So I told her, I told her, please send me to a eye doctor, ophthalmologist that specializes in eye muscle disorder. I said that's what I need to refer to, so they can use their microscope to test my eye, so you can see that I do have cross eye. She was like, no, I'm just going to misdiagnose you as delusional. That you're assuming you have a health condition you don't even have. So as soon as my mother found that I was misdiagnosed by a Russian doctor in Austin as delusional, all of a sudden she got the landlord to evict me and her from the room we were staying in. So that all of a sudden that the landlord came in that 2001 and was like, he's told my mother that he's moving her to another place and I can't come with her to the other place. So I started crying. I was like, I have an immigration case. I don't want to be on the street. So my mother also got emotional and told the landlord to abort the plan, to just let us remain in the room we were staying in. And the landlord was like, no, a deal is a deal. You came to me. The landlord told my mother that she came to him and told him she wants him to kick me out. I say, found a place and I can't come with her to the other place. So my mother was like, deal is off. That she wants me and her to not remain in that room. Then I said, no, it's already too late. They said it's now kicking both of us out. So me and my mother went and rented the hotel room. That we should be staying in the hotel room. Then we were paying like $50 a night in the hotel room. So I told my mother, this is too expensive. $50 a night is like $1,500 a month. I said, why don't we just rent another room for $400 a month? And she was like, no, she wants to buy a house, and because a lot of this landlord may just kick us out again and claim they don't want two people in the room. I was like, the landlord said you came and told them to kick me out and let you, move on to another room. So my mother said no, she just keep paying $50 a night at the Richmond Hotel on Staten Island. So all of a sudden, but my mother was working as a home method, earning $6 an hour, so I knew it was unsustainable. All of a sudden, she told me she was going to Manhattan and I should come with her. So we both left the hotel. I had my belongings in the hotel room, and she made it like we're just going to Manhattan real quick. Then when we got to Manhattan, I saw her buy a bus ticket to go to Pennsylvania. I was like, what are you doing? I thought we were just coming to Manhattan. Why are we at the Greyhound station buying bus ticket? But she was like, she just remembered she needs to go to Pittsburgh where her daughters live. They need to sign a document for her real quick so that she can, that's the document she's going to use to buy the house. She was like, the daughter's going to co-sign for a house for her. So she lured me under fake pretenses to get on the Greyhound bus with her to go to Pennsylvania. I was being kidnapped by her. So when we got to Pennsylvania, we went to the daughter's house, 636 Industry Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 15210. We went to the daughter's house, and then the daughter and my mother quickly came out of the house, and my mother and daughter entered into a car. So I entered into the car also because she told me, we're only going to be in Pittsburgh for a day only, and we're going back to New York together. So me and her. So I entered the car, and the daughter was like, no, you're not going back with your mother, with mother to Pennsylvania, to New York. I was like, no. She brought me under false pretense, and I'm not staying here with you. So she told me I have to get out of the car. So my mother pretended to get out with me. So I got out also. As soon as I got out, my mother quickly went back into the car. As I was trying to get back in, the daughter Flora ran me over with the car, and I fell down and sped away. And the other daughter, my mother has Bolali, called 911. I didn't know I was being framed up and set up. And she lied that, I had a weapon, I'm about to kill them, or, I was attacked with a dangerous weapon. And they brought the Pittsburgh police to almost kill me. Because at that time, Diallo had just gotten killed. It was a West African immigrant. The police suspected he had a weapon in 1999, and the police shoot him dead, pow, 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 with 40 bullets. So that Bolali and that Flora, my mother, set me up to be killed by Pittsburgh police. And then they would have claimed, I was diagnosed as delusion, I was attacking them, and the police should have saved my life, but killed me instead. Because that Bolali was always fantasizing about that Diallo's case. And she used to tell me, it's so easy for the police to kill somebody in America, say black person. And she always talks about it, that the American police, it's so easy to set somebody up and get the police to kill them. And she always tells me, and I used to tell her at that time that I always dream, and my dream always comes true. And she was like, if I ever see lottery number in the dream, I should give it to her. That, and she was just into lottery and doing drugs, And so she was living life like a lottery. So that's one of the women, she's the African woman, is sent into the bathroom with me. Another one is Black American. And they don't let me use the bathroom on time. And they said that can cause your bladder to weaken and start peeing on yourself. So they're trying to destroy my health. They say a lot of transsexuals also commit suicide. Because they say in some states here in America, they don't let transsexuals use the women's bathroom. And they said they get them, the transsexuals depressed, and get them to kill themselves. So the government here is trying to get me to kill myself or get me in an altercation, and so that I could be killed by the police, and then so they wouldn't have to pay me nothing for the money immigration owes me, and for the money the NYPD owes me for taking my home. The NYPD kicking me out of my home wrongfully in 2010, and the immigration arrested me wrongfully in 2000. And they hope, as a gay person, I was born a man, I'm not a woman. They hope that as a gay person, if I'm killed, my mother's daughters would inherit the money and share with the American gangsters they've been using to fight me. My mother's address moved with the narcotic gang. So back to what I was saying. So my mother lured me to go to Pittsburgh with the other false pretexts so that they can get the Pittsburgh police to kill me. Because now I've been misdiagnosed as delusional by Russian psychiatrists. And they felt ching, they could cash out on the misdiagnosis, or at very worst, abandon me in the mental ward, so I won't be able to attend my court trial, immigration case again in New York, and I'll be ordered deported, and my mother doesn't have to take care of me anymore. Because after the immigration arrested me, my mother was just looking for a way to abandon me in the immigration prison. Even when the immigration released me, because the prison was so full. So the immigration arrested me in July 2000, and then October 2000, they released me because the immigration prison was so full. My mother was so angry. She was like, why did they release you, without pre-announcement and stuff? And they released me late at night. My mother was like, she lives all the way in Staten Island, and I was released, to in Queens at the immigration prison. So she was like, she can't come to Queens, I should stay there overnight in the prison, and she's going to come and get me in the morning. So I was like, the immigration was like, I had to leave, that they can't let after they release you from prison, they can't let somebody stay in the prison any further. The only thing they can do is to call the police to arrest me for remaining in the prison longer. So this is the document they gave me when they released me. This is the document they could have given me at the airport and not arrest me at all. So they finally gave me the humanitarian visa because the immigration was full, prison was full, and they gave it to me on 10/6/00, and they gave me only for a year. They're supposed to give me an indefinite humanitarian visa. So this is my I-94. They could have given me this in July 2000 as soon as I arrived with my mother. You can see they say my name is Olabapa Babatunde, Nigerian. They misspelled my birthday because my birthday is July 8, 1981, but they're making it August 7, 1981 because they look at my Nigerian passport. And in Nigeria, you put the month first, 08, the day second, 07. So in Nigeria, I think you put the day first, 08, month second. Oh, I think they did spell it. I don't know. No, they spelled it wrong. My birthday is July 8, 1981. So they look at my Nigerian passport, and I guess this is how they wrote it in my Nigerian passport. 08, 07, 81. Because in Nigeria, you put the month first. No. I think in Nigeria, you put the day first, month later, and year later. But in America, what am I saying? You put the month first, day second, year later. So it should have been 07, 08, 81, but they wrote it 08, 07, 81 because that's the way they saw it in my Nigerian passport. Because American English is different from Nigerian English, so it caused a lot of confusion. So this is not a fraudulent document, it's just they misspell my birthday. So American English. Sometimes people tell me I speak with a fake American accent or whatever. I just try to speak clearly so people can understand me. Because American English is different from Nigerian English. So they gave me a wrong birthday on my immigration document, but I corrected it with my green card. You know, So this is the humanitarian visa they should have given me. As you can see, parole. Humanitarian. They could have given me this at the airport when I arrived in July, but they put me in immigration prison till October 2000, and the prison was full, and they released me on humanitarian grounds. Like this is the humanitarian visa they could have given me. They could have just given an indefinite humanitarian visa. Even though all my property has been stolen since I became homeless, I was able to save this in my email before they started stealing on my document. As you can see, I don't have any mental illness or any memory loss. I'm not, they say now they plan to arrest all the homeless and frame all the homeless as mentally retarded, and then start getting money for Medicaid to house homeless people in mental wards, in mental homes. So this is why they've been trying to get me arrested in the bathroom, so they can lock me up in a mental home. So they send people to attack me, and this is destroying my health, because anytime I'm about to use the bathroom, they will hold me up, bring the police to hold me up. And they said if you keep delaying someone's use of the bathroom, you're going to weaken their bladder and they're going to become incontinent. A guy died in China. He was trying to use the bathroom and he fell asleep drunk, and his bladder ruptured and died. That was I think last year in China. A woman died here in the United States. She was trying to use the bathroom and her colon ruptured and she died. So this is very dangerous to my health. My mother also, before she died, because we didn't have an apartment anymore, and she was using public bathroom, and she said her bladder started rupturing, and she became bladder incontinent because she was going through so much stress as a woman. And they said if you don't have easy access to the bathroom, that weighs in on your bladder. Eventually, because we never really had easy access to the bathroom, we were always staying in one room. And when we finally found a real apartment with a private bathroom, the police came and kicked us out in 2010. Said they don't allow people to stay in the basement apartment. Without a court order. And every gunner was helping me and my mother with the court papers. And the police would have took him dead because when they arrested me at JFK Airport because of my visa issues, sexual and not allowed in America, they put me under surveillance, FBI surveillance, sent my fingerprints to the FBI. So my phone has been getting tapped by the FBI. Even when my phone is off, the technology is able to listen to your phone, to what is going on around you. So when I met Eric Garner in 2000, and in 2014, he told me I was going to help me with my court papers to get my home back, 13 CV5052. The FBI heard as I was talking with him at the same place, Bay Street and Victor Boulevard. Days later, they sent the NYPD to go and kill him. Because, I guess the FBI was like, why should this black American that sells cigarettes want to help an African get justice? And they said this is how they kill black males. I was born a black male, I'm not a woman. They said this is how they kill black male. In the prison outside, they just set you up and kill you, and they will walk away with it. And whether it's Diallo, whether it's Arigona, the police officer that killed both men, walked away free. The whole world march. So in November 14, 2025, they came to attack me in the bathroom. After they were attacking me here, they were having a woman. She'll be showing herself naked to me in the bathroom here. I said, this is sexual harassment. Why are you sexually harassing me? I said, who planned this? Like an African woman. She'll be showing herself naked. I said, you are going to be arrested. So they decided to arrest me for, I guess she works with the police. When she's using the bathroom, she'll leave the door open, showing herself naked. I said, you can't do this. This is sexual harassment. And when I called the police and the police wouldn't arrest her, they just said, like, you go away or whatever. She can do whatever she likes. So in November 14, I was using the bathroom, and the janitor came. this is the arrest document when they arrested me in the bathroom on Chambers Street. You know, they've always been trying to arrest me in that neighborhood. They say it's a white neighborhood and they don't want Africans there. There used to be Africans that sell bags in that neighborhood, and they drift them out of that neighborhood. I guess they outpriced them or whatever. You know, they increased the rent of the store and they couldn't afford it and they left. There's some Africans that sell bags on the street, on Canal Street, and this Eric Adams is a black American mayor. He's been sending police to arrest them. They never used to arrest those Africans, but since they became mayor, he's been sending police to arrest them because they sell, you know, they call it knockoff bags, but they sell it real cheap, you know. So and I used to use the bathroom in the park there, Pier 25, and all of a sudden they accused me of stealing a cell phone in the bathroom there. You know, I called 911 immediately. You know, this was around 2022 when Eric Adams became mayor. I called 911 and the police didn't arrest the person making the false accusation. The police told me, you know, the person was just trying to get me locked up in the psychiatric ward. I was just trying to provoke me. Because, you know, because as I was calling 911, the person told me, don't call 911, don't call 911, they don't want the official. I was like, how do you come with the police? The person came with somebody they called an undercover NYPD. It was a black American man. I was like, no, I have to call 911 because you don't show me your badge number, you say you're NYPD, and you just want to search all my property, you know, to make sure I wasn't the one that stole the cell phone. I was like, you know, you don't have the right to search me because, you know, this is provocation. I had many bags like this. I was like, no. And I called 911, and they told me, no, don't call 911, don't call 911. And they were harassing me, you know, so I was trying to move away from them. I said, no, I have to call 911, I don't know who you guys are. And anytime I use this bathroom in Pier 25, they always send people to bully me. They said that Pier 25, you know, they said after 9/11 happened, a Muslim drove his car and hit people. So they said that in Pier 25, he hit so many Americans with his car. So as a Nigerian, they always scapegoat me in that neighborhood, especially that part. Anytime I go there, they bring commotion. So that they'll be ringing the alarm bell, fire alarm bell as I'm using the bathroom. You know, they'll just be irritating me. And apparently they were just trying to get the police to come and shoot me dead in that bathroom, Pier 25. You know, so I called now when the police came. I said I need a police report. They won't give a police report. So I called 911 back. I said I wanted to speak with the supervisor, you know, at the Internal Affairs Bureau. So the 911 dispatcher forwarded my call to the Internal Affairs Bureau, and the supervisor didn't answer the phone, Internal Affairs Bureau. So I left them a voicemail. They never called me back, and they never gave me a police report of that incident. This was in 2020, and they told me, you know, that it's a setup, that, you know, that since Eric Adams became mayor in 2022, he told them to be locking up homeless and framing them up in the bathroom or anywhere and locking them up in the mental home, you know. And apparently they came and arrested me and did it again 3 years later. Said there's a cell phone missing in the bathroom, in another bathroom I was using in Chambers Street around that same neighborhood. And they then arrested me. They couldn't find the cell phone. There was no missing cell phone. But they told me I had to show up in court, and they gave my address as this. I'm like, I don't live here. I'm homeless on the street. They say it doesn't matter. And they wrote my name wrong. You know, the Babatunde is my first name, but when they put the comma after it, they disguise it as my real name. So it's like they're trying to hide me from the system in case they kill me later somewhere else and somebody's trying to investigate. Like, you know, they gave a wrong name to me so I wouldn't appear in the system. So they can just kill me later, maybe kill me here at another time, and then claim, you know, it was just a mistaken killing. We never really bothered this person ever before, you know. And they don't give, anytime they bother me, like, they won't give me a police report. But I insisted that, no, you know, you have to give me a police report. I said, no, we're just going to lock you up in the psychiatric ward. I said, you came into the bathroom to attack me. I said, since 2022, that Eric Adams became mayor, you have been sending police to attack me in the bathroom. Even for a long time, you've been sending police to attack me in the bathroom. I said, but now you started making up lies. Say, I'm stealing cell phones and hiding in the bathroom. I said, who does that? Who goes to a bathroom to steal cell phones? Like, that's just not even, that doesn't make no sense, you know. So they're just making up lies. They say when they start setting you up for false arrest, they just want you killed. Many black Americans have been killed based on false arrest. They said there was a black American boy in the 1960s. His name is Mattel. He was 12 years old. He was visiting Mississippi from Chicago. And a white woman saw him and raised alarm that he was making sexual gestures at her, winking at her and stuff. And the mob killed them. Apparently, at that time, blacks and whites couldn't have sex. It was against the law. So it set him up as trying to break the law, and the mob killed him. They said 2 years ago or so, this woman, she was now old, she now admitted in the nursing home that she lied against him, that black boy wasn't sexually making gestures at her with his eyes or whatever. And the prosecutor won't prosecute her, said she's too old. They can't prosecute her, she's too old. And so many cases like that, where they'll provoke. Ahmad Marbury, around 2020, while COVID was going on, they said some white people were following him around in the neighborhood, and they shoot him dead because they were provoking him, just following him around. And even in Philadelphia, a black man was trying to use the bathroom, but the Starbucks told him to pay for us. He didn't have any money to pay, and they called the police to arrest him. And people protested, like, you should let people use the bathroom without dehumanizing them, even if they don't have money. In this case, I paid my subway fare, and they still tried to arrest me in the bathroom. On November 14th, they arrested me in the bathroom. Said, and they were touching my penis, said they were looking for my missing cell phone. I said, you have no right to have privacy in the bathroom. And, I just swiped my card. And I told them they can check the camera on Chambers Street. After I swiped my card, the bathroom was this close to the turnstile. I said, I swiped my card, and they had cameras. I said, check your camera. And to show I came into the bathroom immediately, I didn't have interaction with anybody. When they arrested me in November 14, 2025, I just swiped my card in Chambers Street Station, and the bathroom is close to the turnstile like this. Usually the bathroom is close to the turnstile. I said, check the camera. They always have cameras. I said, so you don't have probable cause to invade the bathroom. And they still were grabbing at my genitalia and knocked me down, hit me in the head, and it was a clear setup. I said, don't have probable cause because you can just take a video camera, And they just tried to delay me from using the bathroom, damage my organ, because the doctors have confirmed many people are dying because of being delayed from using the bathroom. So at first, this is November 14. This is the police coming to attack me in the bathroom November 14. As you can see, November 14. At first, they brought the janitor. And she was like, I'm going to call the police. You need to hurry up and leave. There's a long line, and there wasn't a long line. This is the janitor coming to bother me. That's her, the Indian janitor. As soon as Mandani became mayor, was running for mayor, they sent this Indian janitor to follow me on Chambers Street Station and White Horse Street Station. Every time I'm trying to use the bathroom, she blocked the door. Even though the bathroom is supposed to close even though the bathroom is supposed to close at 12 p.m. every day, it was 10 a.m. The bathroom was supposed to go to 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. On November 14th, it was 10 a.m. and she came to the bathroom, said she wants to clean. I'm like, are you cleaning at 10 a.m.? I said the bathroom was at 12, and the bathroom was clean, it wasn't dirty. So I knew I was being set up for an illegal arrest. And she was like, you gotta leave also, there are many people waiting. I said, you're not supposed to clean at 10 a.m. The bathroom is open from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. and you can clean from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. That's the excuse they always give before. Anytime I'm using the bathroom before, they say, get out, we're calling the police, we want to clean. If I go to the bathroom at 7 a.m., they say they want to clean. If I go at 8 a.m., they say they want to clean. Just to give me bad service. And an MTA worker said, the police told us that you were suing them and that we should be lying on you and get you killed in the subway. And the FBI was listening. This was after they killed my friend Eric Garner. So an MTA worker told me, you better stop coming to the subway station. So they're going to kill you eventually. So this is an attempted murder. And they tried it again on November 14th. They brought the Indian janitor to be menacing me, said she wants to clean. And she told me there's a long line. I said, you're not supposed to clean at 10 a.m. I said, the bathroom just opened. As you can see, this man is about to clean or whatever. They're not supposed to clean at 10 a.m. They're supposed to clean at 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. So they don't bother people under false guises. And then she left. She said she's going to call the police to come and arrest me. So I came out of the bathroom briefly. I was like, look, she claimed there's a long line. I said, there's no long line. There's an empty stall next to me. There was nobody else. So this is me talking, so I don't understand why She's just making up lies, you know, saying there's a long line of people waiting. I said there's no long line of people waiting. You know, you know, you know. So that's I'll repeat the video, you know. So that's how bothering me. Says she wants to clean. They're not supposed to come into the battle with you and be acting like they want to clean. And they always feel like I'm a dirty animal infested with bed bugs and rabies. And even in this bathroom, before this, some days before this, they brought like a woman. She was like either Spanish. She was telling me I smell. I said, you smell. I was spraying air freshener in the air. I said, stop harassing me. This is hate crime. She said, I would love to go to prison for hating on you. You know, I was like, and she said, motherfucker. I was saying, you know, my mother is dead. She was like, yeah, she probably died trying to escape you. I was like, how does this woman know so much? Because my mother was trying to escape my immigration case, locked me up in the mental home, mental ward, frame mental illness on me. You know, she and her daughters, they called the police on me in 2001 in Pittsburgh, lied that I had a weapon, and tried to frame me up to get me killed. I was like, how do you know so much? Because my mother said her daughter is moving with a narcotic gang. I said, are you part of the narcotic gang? And soon after that, they arrested me in the bathroom. I brought this Indian janitor, pretended like she was cleaning. The bathroom wasn't dirty, you know. And she was threatening me that November 4th, 2025. You know, she threatened me that, that she's going to call the police and have me arrested on false charges. She did threaten that, and they brought the police soon after that to arrest me on false charges. You know, so these people are killers. These are not workers. Americans hire me civilians to kill Nigerians. You know, and this is real genocide. Because as soon as Mandani became won the mayorship, he was born in Africa. I'm an African also. He was born in Uganda. I'm a Nigerian. I was listening to WABC radio, and the owner is a Greek American. He came here as a child from Greece. He was born in Greece, Kasmatidis, and he became a billionaire in America. And he's been saying America don't need all these new immigrants from all these third world countries. They're invaders. Even though he's also from Europe. He was born in Europe, and he said he's friends with Trump. He said the Americans need to get rid of all these invaders. You know, and then he was saying, I guess this Kasmatidis considered the Mandani, who was born in Africa, even though he's Indian, he considered him a third world invader also. So this Kasmatidis said something suspicious, that he talks with Trump. Trump is his friend, and Trump has a secret weapon to get rid of Mandani. So don't worry, Mandani may not be president, may not be mayor by January. He's a communist, and Trump has a secret weapon. And this Trump has been sending his transportation secretary, Sean Duffy, that the MTA needs to start arresting homeless people, and even they shut down the economy. I get food stamp, and they shut down I use the food stamp to buy cookies and food, you know. And he said, you know, the reason for the shutdown is because he doesn't want certain people here to be collecting benefit, so they don't deserve our care. We need to give those people a taste of their own medicine. So I criticized this Trump a lot, you know. And at some point, he was saying his critics were affecting his mental health. So they've been trying to set me up for criticizing Trump and lock me up in a mental home and kill me even. And this Trump said it. So when he makes press conference like that, his MAGA police and his MAGA supporters, they would then try to enforce whatever Trump said. So I'm in Nigeria, they're arresting me everywhere. I criticize Trump a lot, and they're trying to kill me. So this was the setup. And I don't know if these people are getting paid, or they hope to kill me eventually, and have Trump block every investigation. You know, like even when Eric Adam was arrested for collecting bribery from Turkey, because this Eric Adam antagonizes me, you know, I criticize him and he antagonizes me. This Trump said he should remove the criminal charges. It needs him for special immigration work. So the special immigration work they're trying to do is to kill me and give the money to my mother's daughters for all the things I've suffered in immigration prison when I was arrested in 2000, and for the police taking my home, and my mother's daughters, they feel will inherit the money because I don't have a child, I'm not married, and we donate the money to people like these people, like narcotic gangs that will assist, and all these police officers. So it's a quid pro quo, you know. So everybody's motivated to attack me. Because they feel like, we can just kill this Nigerian and get paid under the table. They may even launder the money through fake marriage. I guess this is why my daughter was born August 14. This is why they attacked me on November 14. It's also a day that's synonymous with Valentine. So I guess they're sending secret code to each other in case the stuff backfires and people decide to match for me, to tell the future investigators, say, mess up the case. We're just, we weren't silly, we weren't stupid, we weren't trying to create trouble, but we're trying to kill this African to make money. So they always pick significant days to attack me. They always pick significant dates to attack me. Like November 14th. The last time they attacked me, also arrested me, took me to the psych ward, was July 23rd. Apparently, when I was in Nigeria, I used to, as a child, I was like 7 years old in Nigeria as a child, I used to write letters to Michael Jackson because my mother said I looked like him. So I used to put songs in a cassette tape, send it to him. When I was 7 years old, she invite me to America, that I want to become a musician, also I would compose songs for him. And the United States Postal Service would send the letter back to me in Nigeria. Said back to send a letter undelivered because Michael Jackson has changed his address. So so after I came here to America, and my father was killed in Nigeria, and I guess my home was raided, the house has not been raided, and people found the tape. I guess people find out my letter I was sending to Michael Jackson, recording music for him when I was 7 years old. It was sent back to me, and now they want to kill me in America. I make it a big deal that I came here to become Michael Jackson, and I was killed in the process, and they found my music tape in Nigeria, and they want to record another Michael Jackson movie. And have my mother's daughter, Flora, the one that hit me with a car, Pittsburgh, and got me locked up in a mental ward. Have her son. She has a son that looks like Michael Jackson also. My mother said I used to become Michael Jackson, but he speaks with an American accent because his father is Black American, and they believe he will be better able to portray me, make me look like, I came here to become Michael Jackson. So they've been trying to have my nephew, Ayinde Cheney Jr., who was born on December 23rd. Who was born on December 23rd. So they've been trying to have him. I'm so sorry. I'm not smoking drugs. I have pneumonia. I've been out on the street for like 15 years. And they turn off the hot water in the bathroom. So I always wash my hands with cold water. And it's affecting my health. And also, so this is why I've been coughing. And they're trying everything possible to kill me. So in this email notes, I said, Bay Ridge Avenue and 4th Avenue, July 20th, 2019. My birthday is July 8th, but on July 23rd, they came and attacked me and choked me and set me up. And that day is significant because my mother's daughter is born my nephew is born on December 23rd. So they're sending codes to each other in case the attack against me backfires and a lot of people start protesting, to tell the future investigator to mess up the case. And it wasn't just some stupid idea to just bother me for no reason and kill me for no reason. It was a well-calculated stuff. They're just trying to kill me and make money for the Michael Jackson estate, so that the future investigators that mess up the Eric Garner's case, because he was trying to help me and the police went and choked him there, and the whole one march, and instead the prosecutor didn't present witnesses like me, so the case was dismissed out of court. Excuse me, sir. You guys are only allowed to claim between 12 and 1 p.m., right? You're only allowed to claim between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m.? Yeah. You can't come in any other time? But are you allowed to clean at 9 a.m.? Are you allowed to go in and clean at 9 a.m.? 10 a.m.? Only at 12 p.m. Between 12 and 1 p.m. One of your janitors came and was cleaning at 10 a.m. in Chambers Street and called the police to arrest me. She's not supposed to do that, right? They're not supposed to clean at 10 a.m. Only at 12 p.m. 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Yeah, thank you. See? So that woman I showed you the video earlier came to provoke me. Like on this day also, when the police sent the police to choke me, I was using the bathroom on July 23rd, 2019 at Prospect Park train station, Q train. And then they brought a woman there and some gang, they used to attack me with a gang. And they were, using a smoke bomb. They were using a smoke bomb to attack me on July 23rd, 2019. Because at that time, I was reading the newspaper and they had me on surveillance, by the FBI, camera surveillance, voice surveillance. The US has satellite camera. They were able to use to locate Osama bin Laden in the Pakistan jungle after 9/11. And Obama said they had located him with a satellite camera a long time ago. But they were lying to the world that they can't find him to keep him at ease so that they can be watching him on satellite camera and find out who's coming to visit him. And he said they were just lying to the whole world and they can't find him. So after 9/11, they already knew where he was. Their satellite cameras had picked him up. At some point, they even issued a fake report. They said their law enforcement is allowed to lie in America. And the president is allowed to lie to support their law enforcement. Obama said at some point they even issued a fake report that this was Osama bin Laden. They believe somebody killed him already because there was a struggle between his rebel and somebody wanted to dethrone him, said, he was of no use anymore. He was already declared wanted. So they killed him, that it was a liability. So Obama said they intentionally issued a fake report just to keep him comfortable because he was monitoring the news, he was listening to like BBC and stuff, British radio, satellite radio. So it was so comfortable, and they were saying his wife would come and visit him in the jungle where he was hiding in an uncompleted building. So Obama said give them the order to go kill him. So he was had enough of him. They've watched him for many, many years. So they've been watching me, trying to assassinate me in the bathroom for many, many years now. So Osama bin Laden said, Obama said he gave the go-ahead to go and kill Osama. Why? So he said, they had the helicopter drop American snipers into his compound and they kicked the door open with their leg and they pointed the gun at him. I said he was in shock. Said they could have arrested him, but decided to kill him. So, which is against the international law. You're not allowed to kill civilians, but America does it. Kill civilians. So I'm a Nigerian and criticized the US government, and they've already arrested me in the bathroom on Chambers Street on November 14, 2025. So I think that this Trump has invoked the Aliens Enemy Act, which allows them to kill a foreigner and just claim you're a threat to the American government. I'm not a threat to the American government. All I do is record things. I was arrested by immigration wrongfully when I was a child. In 2000, my mother had a green card and she brought me here from Nigeria. I was arrested, and I've been trying to get justice in court. A black American helping me with the court papers for my case. They went and killed him, Eric Garner, in 2014. So they're just killing. My mother's also been killed in Manhattan. So they're just killing, arresting me, killing people I know. My mother is dead. My father is dead. A black American helping me is dead. Anytime I use this bathroom, they bring the undercover agents. Two black women. One is African, one is black American. And they'll be blocking the door to the bathroom. I'm like, you're going to make me poop for myself. And I'll call the police tell me they can do whatever they want. I should go away. I'm like, I'm not an animal, you can just... And they came and arrested me on Chambers Street Station while I was using the bathroom, on November 14, 2025. So they're working with their Me Too gang, and their Me Too gang always chooses dates associated with my mother's daughters. I was born in America, the American citizen. I'm a Nigerian citizen. So they're Me Too. I'm a transsexual. I was born a man. I'm not a woman. So my mother's daughters, the Me Too is supporting them because they are biological women. So they always choose dates that rhymes with either the daughter's birthday, the son's birthday, or Bolanle's birthday. So on November 14, the Me Too guy came and attacked me. Bolanle, my mother's daughter, her birthday is August 14. 1974. She was born in Brooklyn, New York. So they came and attacked me on August 14. On this day, the police came and attacked me on July 23rd. The other daughter, Flora, she was born in Brooklyn also. You know, in June. She was born in Brooklyn also in June 1977. But her son was born in Pennsylvania on December 23rd. December 23rd. And I don't really communicate with her or her son, but she actually told me that her son's birthday is December 23rd. And the police came and attacked me on the 23rd of July. So these are not just random and choked me for no reason. They had a guy slap me in my head as I was begging for money on Bay Ridge Avenue and 4th Avenue on July 20th, 2019. And there's police camera around, like here, there's police camera. And I was telling the guy, look, why are you slapping my head? This is disrespectful, you know. So this is another person they always cause. Even though she's supposed to have left the bathroom before 12 p.m., she stays in there just to give the police an excuse to be monitoring this place and claim, you know, there's some black people causing problem in the bathroom, and then they can come kill me. Said, you know, the janitors are complaining, everybody's complaining that there's a black woman that always stays in the bathroom too long, and one day they can just come and kill me and claim, oh, accidental cleaning. We didn't know which one. I even feel like I'm the one, you know. So this is what they've been doing. Sometimes they'll bring black male into the women's bathroom, you know, to naked themselves, to make it look like I'm the one doing all that. You know, after they locked me up in the psychiatric hospital, I was trying to use the bathroom at Whitehall Street, and they brought this black male into the bathroom. I told him, this is a women's bathroom, and he naked himself before me. I had to scream, you know, alert everybody, you know. So they're creating confusion to have me killed in the bathroom and make it look like, you know, I'm the one, you know. So they're using all kinds of racial stereotypes they've used to kill black Americans. Like Diallo, they said they were looking for a black American to arrest, and they killed an African Diallo instead. And people don't know whether that was purposeful. And my friend Eric Garner also, they said as it was trying to help me, they choked him on the ground dead. And as soon as they dismissed the case out of court, the police came and choked me on the ground, also almost killed me. People had to echo them to stop. And they killed him July 17th. You know, I was born July 8th. They killed Eric Garner July 7th. I used to go to a Black American church, Bishop Jordan Ministries, and he used to say that God told him the number 8 is a very important day for God, and is anything you do on that day is going to be successful. I would say, you know, and he said people that have their birthday on that day, July, number 8 of every month, they're important people. You know, I said not just 8. Say even if a number like 17, if you add 1 plus 7 together, it gives 8. Say God doesn't deal with double digit. So if a double digit day, you know, the double digit day, God will add it together, 1 plus 7, make it 8. So God still considers 8. And they killed my friend in Uganda July 17. I was born on July 8. As you can see, my immigration document says 8/7/81. I was born, they miswrote the month and day, but I was born on July 8, 1981. This Bishop Jordan, as soon as they killed Ghana, you know, he's been smiling. Or, you know, I wear glasses because of my cross eyes. As you can see, I wear glasses. I don't know if you know, and he's been sending me messages and smiling and all touching his glasses. You know, before they arrested me also, he sent me an email saying people need to buy a wallet and keep all the important stuff in the wallet on them. So I never had a wallet. I used to put my green card and everything in a plastic bag. I put it in my bag. I never had a wallet. And you know, so there's proof. When I was choked, this prophet knew about it. A lot of people knew about it. I was the only one that didn't know about it. You know, because he was telling me people need to buy, you know, so God told him that everybody that comes to his church, this was when I was choked, you know, all his church members need to buy wallets and keep all the important stuff in the wallet and keep it on them all the time. So I used to put my green card in a bag. I didn't know that anybody was watching me. Apparently they had a satellite camera watching me everywhere I go, treating me like an enemy, because I was about to sue the US government for arresting me in the immigration prison. So on this day, I put my green card on my ID, in a black plastic bag, and I put it in my bag. And I put my bag underneath the canopy because it was raining. And I was sitting on my chair and I had my umbrella on top of my head. And I was begging for money. And all of a sudden on Berridge Avenue and 4th Avenue, July 20, 2019, and a guy came and slapped me from behind, And I tell you, why did you do that? I said, the police camera is recording you, and the police arrived. So you were fighting with the guy. I said, yeah. I wasn't physically fighting. I said, I was sitting down underneath my umbrella on the sidewalk. The Rite Aid store is, it's like the left-hand side. I said, the guy came and slapped me in my head. I said, the police camera is recording. I said, people have been harassing me for a long time now. I don't know who sent these people. And then the police knocked me down. And started putting me in handcuffs. I said, why are you doing this? I started screaming. They're trying to steal my belongings. Then I remembered what this prophet said. He said, people need to put their important stuff in the wallet and put it in their pocket. And I didn't obey that instruction. And when they saw, they could put me in handcuffs and take me away and leave my bag with my green card behind so they can steal my green card from me, all my IDs. This is why they took this opportunity. So my bag was underneath the canopy around me, because it was raining earlier. It doesn't really show that it's raining. But it was raining earlier on July 23rd, 2019. I posted this video July 17th, later, many years later. But the incident was July 23rd, 2019. So to steal my green card and steal all my IDs, they had me set up. And they took me over to the psychiatric hospital, shocked me with their nail and everything. And I was telling the NY psychiatric hospital that, please, my bag is still outside. The police told me they're going to take it to the prison. I said, please, I think they're going to steal my stuff. And the hospital said, no, you're worried too much, don't worry. Don't worry about your bag. I said, please, as a hospital, you have a duty to make sure my property, when I'm brought into your hospital, that my property is safe. Because I had my property with me and the police came and arrested me and brought me here. And I told them, I've been coming to this hospital for a long time. I've never had any mental illnesses. I said, but I've been having people punch me in my mouth. My teeth will fall off and I'll come to this hospital to treat it. I said, look at my medical report. I said, this is one of those incidents whereby since the police took my home in 2010, I've been getting jumped. I said, I got jumped again today and the police brought me here. And the hospital kept me there for 7 days and misdiagnosed me again with all kinds of mental illnesses, to make the way for my mother to take over my estate, get guardianship over me. And they eventually killed me. They say it's very easy to kill a mentally ill person. They have mental homes here in America, and when they arrested me on November 14th, they assigned me to a mental home. And based on lies, I stole a cell phone, they just make up lies and have the police choke me. They choke me like this on November 14th also. So they're choking me repeatedly, and the black Americans said, nigger, and they'll be laughing, haha. They said this is how they treat niggers during slavery. Even though slavery ended 500 years ago, the police arrest me all the time, choke me repeatedly, and they get away with it. Killed my friend, Eric Garner. So they've turned Africans into the niggers of the world forever and ever. And some black Americans that know what is going on, they'll be laughing, say nigger. And this black American guy also has been laughing, holding his glasses, and none of them would help me. And sometimes I think he tries to suggest a marriage. A lot of people, they say the only way they can help me is if I marry them. And I'm like, I don't want to marry somebody and you kill me and inherit all my stuff and you sue the police and get all the money. And I believe the American government is with that. Say, would rather have somebody marry this person, kill this person and take the money. You don't want these Africans to come here. Even this Trump said these Africans come from stinking countries and come and make money here. No way. So they rather have a black American. I guess that's why they're all laughing. That and sometimes they'll tell me you're a sacrifice. So they rather have me killed and have a black American or any other American inherit the money. A guy took me home in 2020. They locked up all the bathrooms, and I couldn't find a bathroom to use. And I was begging people on the train station that I'm from Nigeria. My green card has been stolen, my passport has been stolen, and they lock up all the bathrooms like this in 2020 for 4 years. told me, go to the shelter. I was like, I don't have an ID. I don't even know if they're going to take me to the shelter. I said, but I've had problems in the shelter. Me and my mother used to live in the shelter before, but the police took her home 2010. I said, they don't let us use the bathroom. They arrest us. So I said, I would rather, I said, I beg for money on the street. I just want somebody that will let me be using the bathroom in their house, and I'll be paying them money for each bathroom use. But nobody agreed. I said, I'll be paying you money for each bathroom use, whatever much you want. You want $5 for each time I come use the bathroom in your house. But everybody was like afraid, and I'm like, yeah, we're good. So 2 hours later, a guy showed up. So I could come follow him home. I used the bathroom in his house. When we got to his house in the Bronx, he was like, I have to marry him, immediately. I told him no, and he held me hostage in his house, raped me. He told me if I escape, he works with the NYPD, the police will kill me on the street. They will frame me up and kill me. And they've been framing me up. So I called 911 on him, and they saw he had punched me. There was blood in my face. And the police told me they can't arrest him. It's his house, and he can do whatever he wants. I said, look, the governor in 2020 issued a shelter in place at Governor Cuomo. As soon as I got into his house, they issued a shelter in place that anywhere you are, you should be considered your own, and nobody should evict you. As soon as I got to his house, he held me hostage. So I called the police that he's been abusing me and punching me, and they said, I have to be the one to leave if I can't stay in peace with him. And I said, no, you need to arrest him. Because I've been staying here now for some days. He held me hostage. So I'm a tenant, and you need to arrest him. And you need to arrest him for, abusing me. And they told me no. They said, we'll take a picture of your bloody face or whatever wound you have on your face, and you can sue him in small claims court. But say, out the door you go. And he lived in like a fourth floor apartment. I got to carry all my bags. I had most of them down the staircase, and and then he came into the train station to meet me later. It was like, I could come back some other time. Like, it's okay. I'm like, I said, you don't hold me hostage in your house and tell me it's okay. So apparently he still wanted to go ahead with the fake marriage and kill me eventually, and make it look like, I was crazy, he was crazy. And he even told me he has a mother alive. And I guess the plan was to hold me hostage and, create children and whatever, and kill me eventually and have the mother raise the kid, and just, make him look like he's just a crazy lunatic. And he can't even raise the kid, and I don't know what the plan was, but he was always telling me his mother would come and see me in the house and stuff and things like that, But he always acts crazy. Sometimes he would take the TV and smash it on the wall and violently attack me. Any little excuse would violently attack me. So they lured me to beat me to death. He said he's from Haiti, so they love the Caribbean. And this guy also, his parents is from Jamaica but was born in America. As he was beating me up, what was he saying? Is he saying somebody sleeping in there? Huh? Oh, okay. I don't know what he was talking about. So it's just a mess. Anytime I see any of their workers like this, I always try to make sure, are you about to call the police on me or what? I'm not sleeping. Yeah, I thought I heard him sleep. One of the workers heard him sleep. So I just want to confirm, don't call the police on me. I don't plan to go back there and sleep or whatever, because she always goes there and stays there all day. And she has a partner, that stays there all day with her, and they won't let me use the bathroom. And they just try to create a confusion so the police can come there and kill me one day. And people have been complaining there's a black person that always sleeps in the bathroom, and we kill the wrong one. It happens. So that's the racist game. A lot of the white police always claim, all blacks look alike to them, And they've been laughing. And my mother and dad were laughing on the street. Apparently they believe we were Africans. And a black American told me, we're going to be killing you Africans. You're not going to get injustice. He said, you sold our ancestors. And so a lot of people were aware that I was about to be arrested on July 23rd. And they told them to kill me and give the money through inheritance scam to people here in America. and claim, through my mother's daughters. They've been trying to get people to marry me directly. I even think, their preference not even my mother's daughters, because they have Nigerian ancestry. They want someone that doesn't have any African ancestry, so to really insult Africa. But my mother's daughters are like they are they are the least priority. They've been trying to lure me to a fake marriage, and this is why they're frustrating me, so I won't be able to have a bathroom to use. And this is sex trafficking by the American government. And this Eric Adam, the Black American mayor, also is instituting policies, say the police should be arresting homeless, say we're all crazy, and we need psychiatric help. And they said a Black American was killed also. He was also complaining last year that, he's also been targeted. So they're not just targeting me alone, so that it wouldn't raise eyebrow. Like, how come it's only one Nigerian homeless you're targeting, and this person wear clothes as well? It's not the worst looking homeless, so they target some Black Americans also. It's called collateral damage if you're targeting one person so that people will be suspicious for your motive to steal the person's money. So they arrested a lot of these Black Americans also homeless alongside me, men, mostly males. They don't really go after the women like this, So I said, so this Eric Adam is helping them fulfill their racist policy. So last year, a Black American male was also complaining. Apparently, this MTA is also working with the police to arrest as many males as possible. I was born a man, I'm not a woman. His name is Jordan Neely. He came on the train, said his life has become so tough. He said his mother was killed a number of years ago, but since life has become so tough, it's hard for him to find money to eat. He begs for money also, like I beg for money. So he was complaining, but nobody really helps him, so his life is tough. As he was talking, a white guy snuck behind him. Then a penny, I choked him. I said the white guy won't let go, was choking him. 5 minutes later, even though the train had pulled over to a stop and the door was open, the white guy could have just left. And people were telling him, this guy's lifeless, why is he still choking? And the white guy kept choking him. He was a U.S. soldier, former U.S. soldier, the white guy. And by the time the paramedic arrived, he said, this Jordan Neely, his pulse was so weak. When they put him in an ambulance, the pulse was totally lost. So I still have my pneumonia. That's why I'm coughing. It's just so much what I'm going through. So so I'm scrolling through here to find one of the messages my mother's daughter, Flora. She changed her name since she killed my mother. She's not bearing the new name. Her name was Flora Olabopo before. Now she bears Olayinka Rowolo. She's bearing my mother's maiden name. She's been still trying to make me look crazy. This was the last message I exchanged with her before I blocked her. Because after I was raped by a guy in 2020, and the police threw me out on the street, I contacted her, can you please borrow me money? I'm on the street, I just got abused. And he told me she doesn't have any money. She and her other sister, my mother won like $40,000 in the 80s for a lead poisoning case in the Brooklyn home. And when my mother went to Nigeria, the daughters, my mother said they faked that fake signature and took the money out of her bank account. The money was $100,000 in 1990. So when my mother returned back to America, my mother said that money now was worth like $400,000. And this daughter took the money, wouldn't give my mother any money, and got me arrested. She and my mother, they lured me to come to Pennsylvania under false pretext, so I would miss my immigration court case in New York. And they kidnapped me, got the police to arrest me, so I was delusional and crazy. So I stopped talking to her since that 2001. So 20 years later, she told me she now has a son. And she was like, today's my son's birthday, December 23rd, 2020. Please remember that day, 23rd. Because the police arrested me on 23rd. I think they're just trying to, use that as a code in case when they kill me, because they don't know if they'll be able to kill me successfully, so that the future, and if people decide to protest, the future prosecutor would mess up the case and wouldn't think they were just so silly to kill me. They would know they were doing it to steal my lawsuit money and give it to someone that's more American, like my mother's daughters that have US passport to share with the American gang, So they said criminals leave codes so they can use it as a leverage. And if the prosecutor decides to go after them hard, they'll say, yeah, we attacked this person purposefully on July 23rd because we are under an order to kill this person and give the money to the mother's daughters as inheritance. The mother's daughter's son birthday is 23rd of December. So that's why they attacked me on July 23rd, 2019. So they say criminals also try to leave bargaining chips. So their defense lawyer can tell the state, if you prosecute us hard, we're going to snitch on you. We're going to say the government of America is involved and they're going to be exposed to so much liability, and so the prosecutor can mess up the future case. So they're not stupid for leaving codes. These are codes they're going to use as bargaining chip. So it's an attempted murder, all the elements is there. So my mother's daughter's son is December 20, 2020, and the police came and choked me on July 23rd. I lost that. Let me find it again. On July 23rd, 2019, as a bargaining chip, so that if the case were able to kill me successfully, and the state decides to play them, New York and the United States government, I say, this is deplorable. We're going to prosecute these people to the maximum extent, so they can then use it as a bargaining chip. So as you can see, I said, date of incident, July 23rd, 2019. My mother's child's birthday is 23rd of December. So they used my birthday month to, she said, December 23rd, her son's birthday. This is Flora's son. So, and they came and choked me. I had the guy slap me in my head. So they hired gangs to jump me. Like this woman also, she told me, she threatened me months before that, don't worry, we're going to bust the door open on you one day and drag you out. And the police did it November 14th, dragged me out of the bathroom. On July 23rd, they came, 2019, came and choked me after a guy slapped me in the head. They put their nail on my neck. That's they're putting their nail. That's they're putting their nail on my neck. And people were screaming, "We're going to kill the person! Stop it!" And the scream saved my life of the people. They looked at me into the ambulance after that. So this is racketeering. This is the government agents colluding with street gangs and my family members to kill me and take the money from my account. And this is my mother's daughter, Flora. She should not change her name to Olanyinka Rowolo. She said, today's my son's birthday. Wish you were doing well. Wish you were doing well. They're still trying to concoct mental illness on me. So wish you were doing well. And she puts an hysteric exclamation mark. This is from funny joke to lie about my health, lie about my mother's health. This is how they killed my mother also. Lied about health. So you could have met him. Okay, let me start again. Today's my son's birthday. Exclamation mark. Something about the birthday. They're trying to kill me. I'd have the son play me in the movie. And so I came to America to become Michael Jackson. I died in the process. And the son looks like Michael Jackson also. My mother used to say I look like Michael Jackson as a kid. And they play me. They play me as trying to become Michael Jackson. I think the Michael Jackson estate with that plan, because apparently they had Michael Jackson's nephew play him also in the new movie that's about to release next year by Michael Jackson. I think it's Jafar Jackson. I was like, why in the world would they have to use Michael Jackson's nephew to play him in a movie? There's so many people that look like Michael Jackson. And usually, they always use professional actors. They don't always use family members. Like Elvis Presley, just to encourage people to watch the movie. So I guess to build anticipation. I think the Michael Jackson family estate is aware that someone's trying to kill me and have my mother's daughter's son, my nephew, play me. So to build anticipation, to be like, oh wow, you know, the nephew is going to play this person as soon as I'm dead. I said, even Michael Jackson, you know, his own nephew played him. That this person is so similar to Michael Jackson. You know, it's like they're like a twin. You know, I'm so bad that both of them are dead. But their nephews are playing them. I'm way more money for the Michael Jackson estate. So that means Janet Jackson, sometimes she'll be putting messages in the media, and I think she may have been hinting at me. You know, but I'm like, you know what? And I sent her messages, like, can you please help me with money? And she won't respond. You know? And I'm like, okay, what is going on? Like she was teasing me or something. And then they said that the Michael Jackson's family decided to use Michael Jackson's nephew to play him. And they've been, you know, this year in the movie, since 2020 to 2019, they've been trying to get me killed and use my nephew, this child that was born on December 23rd, to play me. You know, and she said, shameful that your blood walking around there and you never met him or seen him before. And she's been trying to get me to have some kind of contact with the son. You know, and she uses the word blood. It's shameful that your blood. So my mother said these daughters are very violent. They have before she died, she was telling me they were trying to kill her also for money. And I should stay away from them. In case they try to lure me, so I should stay far away from them. They're moving with the narcotic gang. My mother and the FBI was listening in. You know, the FBI was listening in, and they never saved my mother's life, which is against the law. My mother was a U.S. citizen, and she was hinting that daughters are moving with the narcotic gang. My mother has another daughter in Nigeria. I said I should stay far away from them if they ever try to get in contact with me. Say for your life, run. Say that daughters are moving with a dangerous gang. And my mother is right from the grave. You know, everything she told me is happening. I'm getting choked on her daughter's son's birthday. You know, on the day synonymous with her daughter's son. 23rd, this was July 23rd when they choked me. And they're not stupid living on these things. It's to build leverage. So in case the United States government decides to listen to protests, you know, and prosecute these people hard, they will not be like, you know, we killed this person on purpose because you led us to kill this person. And, you know, I win as leverage, so they all go down together. So that, you know, so they're using, they said that the defense lawyer always try to get leverage against the government to, you know, to secure deals for their client, to get the prosecutors to mess up the case. You know, they said the Ariana killer, when they killed Ariana, he was smiling and laughing. And they killed him close to my birthday. And this American pastor, you know, used to say July 17th is like July 8th, because God always adds numbers together. 17, 1 plus 7 equals 8. And you know, and you can see, since then he's been laughing, holding his glasses. You know, I guess he may be trying to build leverage. Also, in case I'm killed and they don't give him money or something, he can say, oh well, I can go snitch also. You know, so I don't know what's going on. I've been contacting him. You know, so can you please help me with money, sir? And he wouldn't help me. I used to donate money to his church. Even during COVID, I contacted him on FaceTime, online video chat, and I was talking to him live. And he ignored me. I said, sir, you know, he was doing a video conference, and I was stuck in the train station like this. I said, sir, I'm stuck in the train station. You know, can you please help me with money? You know, blah, blah, blah. And he just cut my video off. I used to donate money to his church, you know, and I've been sending messages upon messages, and he never responds. But he always seems to hint about me and smile. And people are telling me, you're sacrificed, nigger, you're sacrificed, nigger. We're going to be rich off of you, nigger. You know. So this is, you know, genocide sponsored by the American government and state. I can't use the bathroom 24/7 torture. and they said that they want to do this to discourage immigration from third world country. And apparently even the APC owner Kasmatinis was saying this. It's from Greece, and he said we don't need immigrants from third world country. And he was saying Trump has a plan to stop Mandani from winning, to stop Mandani from becoming mayor if they won. And the plan is to continue with their plan to kill me and cause a huge protest in New York. So they've been so emboldened ever since Mandani won the mayorship. They've been so emboldened to kill me, attacking me more vigorously. So they really enjoy me recording videos like this, so that when they kill me, the whole people will protest, and this Trump can then invade New York, say New York is not safe for Mandani to become mayor. There's disorder for the safety of the police, and sometimes people will be saying, oh, people anywhere I'm at, people will come around me, sometimes trying to grab my breast, to make it look like I'm part of a Santa Claus cult, and I'm begging for money so that people would deposit sperm into surrogates chimney, so all kinds of attempt to defraud me. I'm not saying these people are part of their attempt to defraud me, but they've been surrounding me with scammers. I used to beg for money. I begged for money in front of the MTN quarters to Broadway, and they have this Hispanic guy that would tell me to go and stand in front of Starbucks. Say don't stand in front of the MTN quarters. Go stand in front of Starbucks, and they put it there in front of Starbucks. Have a merry little moment. So apparently they try to make it look like I'm also part of a suicidal cult, and I'm collecting money so I can be killed later. Because in Christianity there's something about resurrection, that Jesus resurrected from the dead. And my name Babatunde means somebody resurrected from the dead. So they want to use my name as to fool the jury, have me killed, and raise possible defenses for the police officer that will kill me, that this person was, and they can just say that police officer was mentally ill. Apparently this person was also mentally ill, believed they can be resurrected from the dead, and this police officer heard about it and was mentally ill and went and killed this person in the bathroom. But it's this person's fault also, and so they're building leverage to kill me and get away with it. So they've been attacking me in the bathroom everywhere I go to kill me, and then this police officer can claim mental illness and resign from the job and get their money, bribery money, sent to them under the table from my mother's daughters. So they're building every possible defenses to show this is an intentional crime, this is an intentional act. So she stays in the bathroom also, and sometimes all day, so that they can I guess she's just trying to give the police, she's going back in there, to give the police an excuse to come and kill me, that they heard, that it's a black person that lives in the bathroom, and and then they can come and harass me someday and kill me. It was a mistaken identity. We don't even know if this person was still the same person. So they're creating all kinds of ruses to kill me, and they want to go nigger hunting for Africans and killing Africans. There's some black Americans, and with that plan also that we Africans will show them, our ancestors sold as black American ancestors to slavery, and we deserve every pain and torture. And you have black Americans that won't help me. Even the pastor in my church will be hinting that God told him something, that people need to buy wallets and keep all their ID in their wallets and on them all the time. And I didn't listen to him. I used to put all my green card in a plastic bag, and the person took the handcuff and took my bag away and choked me, and it wouldn't help me. And it's like they're all trying to lure me to some marriage, so they can get half of the money if I even make it out alive, because I'm thinking I could even be killed in such marriage. And they take everything, because I don't have nobody to fight for me. My mother's address are compromised with a narcotic guy. My father is dead. My father's been killed. My mother's been killed. The Nigerian embassy wouldn't help me either. And they believe, even if anyone tries to fight for me, they can just bribe the person. So they want to do a total wipeout. And so on November 14, And before I go to the video of that the latest chokehold on November 14th, 2025, they're choking me so many times now. I'm even losing count. But I record everything, or some people record it. I'm trying to keep count of the numerous chokehold. I'm so sorry, so much chokehold. I'm not a cat with 9 lives, and they said eventually they're going to kill me with a taser. They say the chokehold is not really killing me fast enough. Say boom, boom, boom. So when I go to shop in the store, they tell me you want shot. Near the Stanley Ferry, some of the Dwayne Reed workers say you want shot. I said, stop scaring me. Why are you following me? I said, do I want shot? I said, women flu shot. I said, don't ever follow somebody around, a black person, to be saying, do you want shot? I think some of the MTA some of the Dwayne Reed workers near the MTA headquarters in 2 Broadway, they know what is going on. But sometimes some of them follow me outside, and smiling at me like they want to be friendly. I'm not looking for any kind of friendship. I don't want to be killed in the future and you claim I was your friend or whatever. We had a love relationship. Yes, I always tell people, if you want to help me, you got to go straight to the point. And I'd be willing to testify in court. I'm not looking for any love relationship, any civil relationship, because I don't know if some of you are down with the idea to kill me and inherit all my estate. Because if you're truly genuine trying to help me, you won't play games. You'll come to court with me. Immediately, and you wouldn't want to enter into a secret relationship with me. I don't know if you're trying to lure me into a secret relationship into your house so you can choke me dead. And then take all the money, bribe all these police that's been trying to keep me all along, and have the case not prosecuted. There's just too much evidence. It's crazy. And they all ignore me, their lawyers, the prosecutor, the police commissioner, Jessica Tish. I could go for hours, I could go for hours, and everybody just ignores me. So as soon as my mother got killed, this Cameroonian singer released a song like 2 years ago, and I think that song was saying things about the way my mother got killed. It was saying take over. My mother was saying, towards a movement narcotic gang, they plan to kill her and take over, or even get guardianship over her, declare her mentally ill, and declare me mentally ill, and just take over the lawsuit money from immigration I could potentially get, and from NYPD. And this Cameroonian guy 2 years ago recorded a song, said take over, and he was singing about from Lagos to New York City and all that stuff. He's from Cameroon, why is he going to Nigeria to record? So that song is really about my dead money. And everybody just trying to get in their leverage, like get bribe, because they're not helping me directly. My mother said her daughter, Balale, that killed her, used to drive Uber in Pennsylvania. So I guess that's why. Hello, stop trying to touch my stuff. What are you doing? Stop moving. And that's what another thing they do. They hire some Spanish people and they'll be trying to rob me or my bag with their children. And I heard in France, people are saying when the foreigners came there for the World Cup and Olympics, they said some of them bought bed bugs, and the airport workers, as soon as they touched the luggages of the foreigners, they were getting infected with bed bugs. So it's like some people are aware that I'm going to be killed soon or whatever, and they want to put in their claim. Because I don't know why she doesn't have enough space, rather than trying to rub her body and her child's body on my back. And I'm not blocking the door to the bathroom. So instead of helping me, so some people are purposefully acting weird, and I think they want to make a claim, especially on camera. So my mother's daughter used to work for Uber. And this song was about takeover, and they bring their children along, and she was trying to rub my bag with her baby, and how do you not see? And sometimes they push my bag on the floor while they're trying to rub their body on it. And I don't have money to buy new cart, and my stuff will spill over, the bag will tear in pieces, and then they bring the police to say get away from here, you're littering our floor, and they're trying to tase me to death. So they want to make me panic to death, and they hiring Spanish, Black Americans, other Africans. They say when you go against any United States agency to sue them, they come at you with, with their dynamite. So to use you as a scapegoat, like anybody else that try to sue them, we will bully you also like we bully this person. And the lawyer said would help me. I've been standing here for almost 2 hours, and they can't help but do more stuff. 24/7 is my life. Even this is murdering. They do more than this. If I wasn't recording, they would have been rubbing their body all over, knocking me all over. Knocking me all over the place. Boom, boom, boom. Pretending they're blind. They'll be typing on their phone, come and bump into me. It's even my camera that's stopping them. So this is crazy. FIFA is not set to bring the World Cup here. My mother killed, my father was killed also. While I was trying to get justice, they said somebody injected him with a poisonous drug in Nigeria. It's just so much. And I know, because Trump tried to hit me with his car in 2014, as soon as Arugana was dead. I used to go to Trump's hotel in Atlantic City to gamble, Taj Mahal, in 2011. And they chased me out of this casino after I went to use the bathroom. The bathroom was in the hallway and I would gamble. I was a registered customer. And they called the police on me. They said they don't really like blacks in this establishment. They said Trump has always been racist. So I recorded all the incidents that were chasing me out of the casino, wouldn't let me get my gambling money. I thought I was going to sue Trump. So apparently the FBI was monitoring me there because I had an immigration case around that time. So they must have told Trump, and Trump immediately sold off the hotel, declared bankruptcy. They say he always lies about his business. He was found guilty of 40 charges here in New York about falsifying his business record. I'm still coughing. Pneumonia and all. And then I came to New York in 2014. I met with Eric Garner. I said I was going to be helping my court papers. I was trying to sue Trump. Soon the police when I beat Eric Garner dead. And this Trump has been covering up. Said he forgot to file the federal charges against the Eric Garner killer. He doesn't want to be implicated in Eric Garner's death. And people protested, and so I was choked on the floor. Around that time, 2014, when the Trump said he forgot to file the federal charges against the Eric Garner killer, so he was set free. And as soon as the killer grabbed 2014, somebody lured me to go and stand in front of Trump's house around Christmas. Said they were going to be giving out presents to all the homeless. As soon as I got there, 5 minutes later, Trump arrived with his car, trying to knock me down with his car. People were screaming, "That's Trump trying to knock you down." And I'm under FBI surveillance, so they were able to listen in from anywhere my phone is. They can listen in, and they never arrested Trump. And then Trump went and boasted that that he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and still win the election. So apparently the FBI has been monitoring me, and to get at me, they've been trying to kill. They killed my friend Eric Garner with the police in 2015 for me trying to sue the US government. And I guess they've been eyeing my father. They were going to kill him by shooting him with a bad injection. And this Trump was aware of the plan just to demoralize me. And as soon as he became president in 2017, a Polish woman came and sent me in. I was begging for money in Brooklyn. And she was like, you're not homeless. Stop telling people you're homeless. Go to your house. You have a house somewhere. And she mentioned the word house. So I brought up my phone to record and she moved me right away. I was able to record her backside even. I said, this woman said, you have a house somewhere. Go to your house. I said, that's creepy. I never talked to my father for a long time because he abused me in Nigeria. And since I came here in 2000, I never talked to him. So apparently he put it in his will while he was alive that if he ever dies, I should inherit his house. And this Trump has been trying to get me to leave America. Even they said some U.S. senators said they invited them to a secret meeting as soon as he became president that they need to pass a law to enable him to deport Africans fast. They say the Africans come from shithole countries. And they said U.S. senators like Schumer, the New York senator, said they all left in anger. And why is Trump insulting Africans? So apparently he's worried that the laws as it is won't help him unjustly deport me, because I would have a right to state a defense. And if I state all this, that this Trump has been trying to kill me since 2011 when I went to gamble in his hotel. They won't pay me the money. I chased me out with the police. They believe due to his corrupt motive of just, and I'm unsafe in Nigeria because I'm a transsexual and they can easily stone me dead in Nigeria. I'm not safe in any other country because America has allies all over the world and they can torture me in any other country
For example, they said there was this guy, Australian journalist. I can't. I always his name always eludes me. They say he published something about the American CIA, a classified document, and the police wanted to arrest him in England, but he went and hid in I think, in an Ecuadorian embassy, and then the U.S. put pressure on the Ecuadorian embassy to release him to the London police. So they said the Ecuadorian embassy concocted that he was mentally ill, and they needed to, and they called the police on him to come and remove him from the embassy, even though they had given him an asylum in the embassy, and that's how they arrested him. This Australian journalist, you know, this is how they arrested him and took him to the mental hospital, and from there the British police wanted to send him to America, but he claimed he was going to be tortured in America. Yeah, I guess he was going to use my case as a reference, because I post, don't bump into me, miss, you know, you know, keep bringing people that will always try to bump into me and claim, they couldn't help it, I was standing too close to the bathroom or whatever. And no matter where I stand, they always try to bump into me. No matter, they will act like they don't have eyes. I've been shifting my back backward, and the more I shift it backward, the more they try to bump into me. They will act like they don't have eyes. And like there's so much space. There is so much space to walk. How do you avoid, all this space and, you come so close to my back and you be so inch close? How is that possible? Jordan when I brought that baby. So back to what I'm saying, the Australian journalist said he doesn't want to be repatriated to America. Said they're torturing immigrants and American foreigners. And the U.S. worked a deal with him and the Biden administration to plea deal to not charge him. I guess they were afraid. Yeah, Julian Assange. They were afraid if they brought him here to America, he's going to use my torture, Eric Garner helping me kill, my father killed as an excuse to expose. So they said the U.S. and British government, they always fake mental illness to or people to escape legal hurdles. So you can claim somebody's crazy, you can kill them or lure them, or whatever, or even deport them. There's something called psychiatric deportation. They can just have your family member remove you from America, claim you're crazy, and being in America is traumatizing to you. So and this is why they've been trying to kill me, because my mother was killed 10 years ago, and usually the statute of limitation has expired already, but there's an 8-month grace period. She was killed in May, and there's an 8-month grace period due to COVID. They extended statute of limitation till January. So this is why they're in a hurry to do something with me and take over my state before January, because if I don't file the case before January, then the statute of limitations is gone forever. So that's why they're in a hurry. They're either trying to hit me with a car or taser me and make me disabled, so my mother's daughters could be. I want to gather shit of my state and file the lawsuit for killing my mother and get the money for the gang, or kill me before January, so that regardless, they can file a lawsuit for before the statute of limitation expired. But they say when it comes to legal cases, you got to play it safe. You got to file a lawsuit before the statute of limitation expires. So this is what they're trying to kill me before January. The statute of limitation has expired since May. They killed my mother in 2015, May 2015, and statute of limitation expired this year, May. But during the COVID, they shut down the court for 8 months. So this is the extension. So that's why they're in a hurry to kill me or harm me before January, so that they can then get the U.S. government to release money to my mother's daughters, because it will be so suspicious if they kill me later than that, while the statute of limitations has expired, and the U.S. government, ignores the late filings and still give my mother daughters money. But they're afraid, to settle the case. They just want to settle the case out of court, and they're afraid if they act too suspicious, violate every law, the taxpayers may sue. Like, what is going on? This person was alleging you were trying to kill them and give the money to the siblings as inheritance money, and now, the siblings have filed a lawsuit. Statute of limitations expired. The mother had been killed over 10 years, and still the U.S. government gives the siblings money. So the afraid taxpayers can do a whistleblower lawsuit. And also, I always use the phone booth upstairs, and they don't want me to use the bathroom anywhere. I use the phone booth. I use the phone booth to contact people, Wi-Fi to contact people. So this is why I don't want me to use the bathroom anywhere I think they're trying to set me up. Have somebody eventually help me while I'm seeking money online, and then the person may just kill me after they help me with money, and then claim, I was in a secret relationship with them, and they are going to inherit my money due to the secret relationship I had with them. That we were buddies, that they were helping me with money, and then nobody will be able to challenge the person. They don't have a legal basis. So I think some of these people are trying to rub their body on me. They're trying to gain leverage. That in case I think this is what they're trying to do. Because I always beg for money on Instagram, but nobody would help me on Instagram. I think they're just waiting for the right moment to help me or whatever, because they don't want to help me if there's somebody out there that can make a claim and investigate if I ever die, how I die. Because all these people that are trying to rub their body on me, they will have a claim in the future to say, we rub our body on this person had bed bugs, and in case I die in the future, they could just sue my estate for money, and during the deposition, they could then find out, like, how did I even actually die, and use that as a leverage to win more settlement money. So that their lawyer will be able to use the leverage and be like, you know what, you better pay us, otherwise when we start digging, we may just dig into how you killed this person, and how you were trafficking this person and get more money. That and so this people that are trying to rub their body on me, I think they're just trying to get leverage. They're not trying to help me, because if they can claim I was being trafficked, and the U.S. government, was working with gangs to lure me away with money and kill me, give me money and lure me away and kill me and inherit my estate, claim I had a marriage to them or I adopted a child of the gang members, then if somebody else comes and says, look, we want to find out how this person died because we believe this person was being trafficked, the U.S. government stole the green card, this person couldn't work, to lure this person to go and get married to an American so the American can kill this person and inherit the money. And this person was left in the decrepit condition, in very unhygienic condition. This person had bed bugs all over them, and we rubbed our body against the back. And this person was a victim of human trafficking. He stole the green card. U.S. government had the police arrested this person. This person could no longer go to work, couldn't take care of their hygiene, and this person had bed bugs all over their bags and everything. And we caught the bed bug, and now we can sue the U.S. government as under third-party liability that you created a condition that infected us with bed bugs. So the person that would sue them for claiming I have bed bugs and stuff will be able to have power over the U.S. government. And this is why they try to chase me away, from using the bathroom or having contact with people anywhere there's a phone booth where I use Wi-Fi, because they don't want there to be a trace. Because when so that people can have leverage. But I think a lot of the criminals out there, or criminal types, are where the U.S. government just wants to kill me. They say they always lynch blacks like Martin Luther King, even during lynching, to serve as a warning that if anybody tries to challenge the government or the slave owners, this is how they're going to lynch. So to use me as a scapegoat, But they're afraid, you know, if there's and they said I'm like a perfect victim. My mother is dead, my father is dead, my mother's daughters are compromised, so there's nobody in my family that would really stand up for me, and they can easily get bribed to keep quiet. But they're afraid of all these strangers that may try to use me as a leverage also, and claim, okay, yeah, we don't give a fuck about that person, but you are trafficking that person and stole the green card. US government stole the green card, had the police arrest us to the green card, and the person was kept in a dirty condition, had bed bugs, and we rubbed our body against them and we caught the bed bugs. So now we have leverage over you, US government. Yeah, you treated that person like a nigger, but now what? That person and you, the US government, are a nigger also. So this is the fight, So they don't let me use the bathroom, because they're also afraid. The only way they can kill me and get away with it is to claim I'm crazy and the police killed me accidentally while trying to help me in my mental health episode. And they're afraid with that kind of claim, somebody can claim, yeah, I was crazy in the bathroom. I used to scare them. I used to do something to them in the bathroom. And when I get killed, anybody can then go make a claim that they were in the bathroom with me, and and trace me my internet connections, So I think they're trying to get someone to, to help me on that Instagram eventually, or if somebody else on that Instagram, they can just tell the person to kill me eventually, and get the money all my life, take over my estate and claim they were married to me and stuff, And so sometimes they even pour water on me, It's just, they always try to distract me, So I believe they're just trying to build leverage. This is why they don't want me to use the bathroom anywhere there's a Wi-Fi. Anywhere I use the Wi-Fi, because they don't want there to be a trail, because there's a digital map, and they don't want somebody, if I use the bathroom here and I go use the Wi-Fi upstairs, and somebody helps me with money, if I disappear in the future, anybody that used the bathroom today with me can then sue and claim, yeah, and then claim, yeah, that person, was being trafficked and had bed bugs. The U.S. government stole the green card and stuff, and we caught the green card, we caught the bed bugs. Or claim, that person was diagnosed as crazy, and the person was attacking us in the bathroom, and we had a secret diary where we recorded the incident, and then win money. So this is why they try to cheat. Anywhere I use the Wi-Fi, they won't let me use the bathroom. At Chambers Street also, I always use the Wi-Fi down the street from the train station, because there's a police precinct, the first precinct, down the street from Chambers. This is why they came to choke me, to scare me from using the bathroom there. So they're choking me is to further their crime of human trafficking, because they're afraid, somebody may help me on Instagram one day as I'm posting videos, begging for money. I'm going to post this video on Instagram also to beg for money, and they're afraid, if somebody helps me with money on Instagram, then they can't get the person to kill me and inherit all of my estate, because if I use the bathroom that day near the Wi-Fi, like on Chambers Street or here, any of the people that use the bathroom with me could just have a secret diary and say, look, I was in the bathroom and there was this African that was crazy and, was attacking me in the bathroom. I'm so scared, And then when that person found out I've been killed already, that person can now sue my estate and bring out the old diary and be like, look, I did write in my diary that there was this person, and there's evidence that it's the same person, that was in the bathroom and I attacked them in the bathroom. It's the same person, because the person went upstairs and used the Wi-Fi. So this is why they try to chase me away from using Wi-Fi wherever, using the bathroom wherever there's Wi-Fi. You know, so I'm being trafficked in an inheritance scams, you know, type stuff,
Consigo what
you know. So this is what is going on. You know, and so please, uh, I want to state again. I want to stay right here that I'm seeking charity donation to my Cash App NYC Homeless. I do also beg for money, and if someone wants to give me money in person, and I solemnly swear, I solemnly affirmatively swear under perjury laws of the United States and U.S. Constitution and other relevant laws that I'm only seeking charitable financial donation. I'm only seeking non-conditional charitable financial donation to my Cash App NYC Homeless or to me personally, you know. And I'm not looking for surrogacy. I'm not looking for marriage. I'm not looking to be part of the cult. So in case I die and somebody in the future said, you know, they gave me money and I'm into surrogacy, I'm into marriage with them, I'm into cult, you know, that this video recording is another proof that I'm swearing under perjury. I'm not seeking donation for surrogacy or marriage or to be a member of any cult. So anybody that will make any lie against me can be easily, you know, held accountable in the court of law for criminal fraud, you know, because when somebody, you know, swears under oaths, under perjury laws, their statement is considered proof, evidence, the strongest evidence that the person attests to the truth of their statement, and the court holds that to a high standard. So in case, you know, they kill me in the future and somebody claims, you know, that person was just lying, that person was into surrogacy, was into cult. So me swearing under oath now, I swear again under oath, you know, I solemnly swear under oath under the perjury laws of the United States and the U.S. Constitution and other relevant laws that I'm not seeking, I'm only seeking charitable, non-conditional charitable financial donation to my Cash App NYC Homeless or to me in person, you know, and that I'm not seeking surrogacy or marriage or membership in any cult, you know. So this is the proof. Apart from the numerous videos I've already posted online, say I'm not looking for any. All my donation I'm seeking is for financial. It's non-conditional charitable financial donation to me. And in case I'm killed, no family member or friend should administer my estate or inherit my estate. Only civil rights activists like me that haven't denied me up in the past should administer my estate and get justice for me and my late mother, and donate the rest of my estate to charity for those suffering xenophobia like me and my late mother, and those being deported by Trump should be prioritized. So this guy, I don't know if it's an agent of the American government or Nigerian government, he's been holding a stick, you know, and he sometimes hints at my situation, and they try to run me over with scooters, and it's now at the barber shop. This may connote, because when they arrested me and put me in the psych ward, they were trying to cut off my hair. They always cut off people's hair when they arrest you and put you in the psych ward, say so that you don't bring bed bugs or lice. So it always records videos all the time showing walking with a stick. When they always knock me down, the police always kick my leg. And so that they can break your leg. I think that's what I see him holding his nail. they put their nail on my neck, and I think the Nigerian government is also trying to marry me off to a Nigerian, and have a Nigerian inherit the money. I think the Nigerian government is already aware the American government wants to marry me off to an American and have the American steal from my estate, inherit my estate. So the Nigerian government also, like a joke, they want to marry me off to a Nigerian. So all of a sudden, I used to talk to a Nigerian lawyer based in Canada. At the time, I was in immigration court. And, and I told him, look, I'm in immigration proceedings. I've been ordered deported at that time. I was trying to file an appeal. And I told him, could he come to America and represent me? Because my mother doesn't really have the money to help me. And he told me, no, he can't really help me. He said it's not into Nigerians, it's only into Canadians and black Americans. He said Nigerians don't look attractive to him. So he told me he already has a Jamaican Canadian boyfriend. And he broke contact with me around 2004, 5, 6. Then by 2008, I posted a message at the Daily News that, I finally got my green card, but the U.S. government still holding on to my passport, Nigerian passport. I need it back. So the Daily News, a New York newspaper, posted my message online and advised me with the immigration lawyer that I should just write a letter to the immigration and tell them to return my passport. So they already contacted the immigration for me, and the immigration told them if I write a letter requesting my passport back, they're going to send me my passport back. So I did that. I wrote a letter. I think they sent me my passport back or told me to come and get it or something like that. So that was how I got my passport. But my mother's daughter, my passport has been stolen now. So when my mother, when the police took my home in 2010, so soon after that, after I posted in 2008, after I posted a message to the Daily News, which they posted online, soon after that, I think this Nigerian lawyer, Yemi Asalu, was Google searching me to find out if I was deported, because I told him I was about to be deported. I must Google searched my name and saw I was still in America. I got a green card. Then he contacted me that his father had just died in Nigeria, and I wanted to reconnect with me as a friend again. But I didn't really trust him, to be his friend anymore. Because the way he told me he wasn't interested in Nigerians that were too ugly for him. He only likes black Americans, and he only likes black Canadians. I was like, okay, why would I want to be friends with somebody that think Nigerians are too ugly for him? And he was born to a rich family. Nigeria's father had millions of dollars, had inherited millions of dollars from his father. So I was like, no, this is not the kind of person I want to be friends with. So I didn't really contact him again until 2010, when the police took me and my mother's home wrongfully on Staten Island. So I contacted him and I told him, look, you told me you were going to come to America eventually to work as a lawyer. I said, I do have a case against the police. I don't know if you can help me. And he told me he was going to help me. So he told me to send him the papers I filed in court. At that time, my mother was still alive. So I sent him the papers I filed in court. And he pretended he was going to take over the case. And as if he was going to take over the case, but I never heard from him. So I contacted a Regana to be helping with the court papers, and the police went and beat Regana dead. Then soon after that, my mother's daughters killed my mother, framed her as crazy while she was having a heart problem in the hospital. Framed her as crazy and killed her. So I reached out to this Nigerian guy again. I was like, my mother is now dead. I'm going through it. I'm on the street. And it comes from a rich family. He inherited millions of dollars from his dead father. I said, can you just borrow me money? I'm on the street, homeless. And he told me, I told him my mother just died. I said, okay. He told me, okay, I'm going to send you money. And he didn't send me any money. As I was talking to him, I noticed sometimes when I would call him, he wouldn't answer the phone. And the guy that would answer the phone sounded like a black Canadian. So I guess that's his lover. And he would tell me he can't come to the phone, he's busy. I will hang up on me. So after my mother died, this guy was just insulting me. And after I promised to send me money, I will call him that I haven't gotten the money yet. And he will have his lover, a black Canadian, answer the phone and just hang up on me. Just to make me feel bad as a Nigerian, like you're less, because it's a Nigerian millionaire, $1 million, and I'm just a Nigerian, like a nobody. I'm a peasant. So and the elites in Nigeria, they don't really mess with the peasant class. So when they found out I was homeless on the street, I was like, nah, even with a green card, he doesn't even want to be friends with me, really. So he was just playing me, telling me he was going to send me money, he was going to help me with my case. But as soon as my mother died, I'll call him in Canada. He had a 416 number. I'll be freezing on the street in Manhattan, and I'll call him. I'll have his Canadian friend answer the phone and tell me no, he can't come to the phone. Click, and I'll be freezing, and I can't even use the bathroom. The person tried to kill me in the bathroom. My friend had been killed, So sometimes I will send him email. I say, please remember me. You can just borrow me the money. I'm going to pay you the money back and stuff. And he just ignored me, even during COVID. I was still sending him a message. I would call his office. He works for a Canadian law firm. And they will tell me, his secretary will tell me, he can't come to the phone, leave a message, please. And I'll leave him a message like, please call me back. I'm freezing on the street. And I was like, why is this guy that's born to a Nigerian $1 million family? He has a lot of money. He's a lawyer also. I said, why is he just, treating me so mean? And I think he may be working for the Nigerian government now. I don't know. Because, and then I was reading something about him online, about somebody set him up, told him to come to Nigeria for a date, and maybe they arrested him. They said the Nigerian police does that, frames Nigerian gays, have them come to Nigeria for a date, because being gay in Nigeria is against the law. And they arrested him. I met him on the Nigerian website. I was telling people, I'm just looking for other Nigerians to talk with, that I'm in America. I was commenting, about gays in Nigeria. And that's when they contacted me back, that it's also gays in Nigeria, and in Canada it's also gay. We became friends, and I told them, look, I have an immigration case. I'm about to be deported. And that's when he told me he's not really interested in Nigerians for any kind of relationship, sexual. And he broke contact with me. So he told me he now has a Canadian lover. And I think he may have been arrested by the Nigerian government because, at some point, somebody was blackmailing him online, said he's a Nigerian gay, posting stuff about him. I don't know. And he may have gone to Nigeria, they arrested him and said the Nigerian police will sometimes arrest Nigerian gays, that visit Nigeria, and all of a sudden, I saw this guy. I was on the train, I fell asleep, and he came and touched me on our train, and I saw him with a Spanish woman. I was like, don't you ever touch me? Like, who even gave you my location? I thought he was even in Canada, and I saw him like last year. He came and touched me on the outrain, and the outrain has spy cameras. Then I saw him again, where the police came and choked me around that area of Tribeca. He was driving a Nigerian luxury car, and he had a presidential plate, and he was just driving. I'm like, okay, what's all this weirdness going on? So apparently, I think this guy is just trying to hinting that, the police is going to attack you again, break your leg, put you in a psych care, because this guy will start posting that a good friend is better than a family member. Even the Bible says a good friend is worth more than gold. If you have a friend you haven't talked with a long time ago, and that friend is rich, reconnect with that friend. Family members wouldn't help you, but a good friend would help you. So I was like, okay, this is a nice advice, So I would contact the Nigerian guy, Yemi Asalo in Canada, and they'll put me, the secretary will answer the phone. Said he can't come to the phone right now. So apparently they're setting me up to make it look like I'm in love with him. I've been contacting him repeatedly, and in case I get killed, he can then come from my state and claim, we had a secret marriage or whatever, and I was more into him, So they're playing this hide and seek game with me. Then I started seeing him in America. When I lost interest, I wasn't contacting anymore. All of a sudden, he would touch me on the train. So I don't know whether he moved to America, because he told me he was eventually going to come to America to work as a lawyer. That America was his dream location. It was so hard to get an American green card. That's why he went to Canada. But he told me his eventually intent was to work as a lawyer in America. So when the police took my home, before I contacted Rigon, I contacted him. I said, okay, this is your chance now to help me as a lawyer in America. And he told me he was going to help me. And he told me to send all the evidence for my case to him. I sent all the evidence, and I didn't hear back from him. So I contacted Eric Garner to help me, and the police when I killed Eric Garner. So he may be liable for the death of Eric Garner and for my mother's death, because he's a lawyer, and the lawyer shouldn't act so negligently. So I guess the Nigerian government has hired him and told him, look, you better scam this person, fake a relationship with them, fake adoption with them. And so this guy would always threaten me. Also see him recording a video at the barber shop. And I think that was one time he tried to get me arrested. I guess so they can send me to Nigeria and rape me and make claims for my money and claim I'm now straight to Nigeria and I died, and they want the US government to send my money to Nigeria. Because at one point he said he's going to protest outside the Nigerian embassy, and that anybody, he said he's a lawyer also, anybody that needs any help should come and protest with them. I almost went and protest with them in front of the Nigerian embassy, but for some reason I changed my mind. I was like, I have too many bags and I'm not into protesting. And then he said while he was protesting, the Nigerian police at the embassy came and arrested all of them. So it may be a human trafficker, trying to lure me, and I heard there was a Nigerian Nnamdi Kanu, the Nigerian government. He was criticizing the Nigerian government a lot. And he's a British citizen, and the Nigerian government hired a secret agent to kidnap him, put him on drugs, and bring him to Nigeria. He's now in Nigerian prison. So the Nigerian government always kidnaps people. So they may want to kidnap me because I'm worth a lot of money. And also, I have a lawsuit against the Nigerian government, because when my mother came to Nigeria in 1988, she had filed for US citizenship for me. And she came to Nigeria in 1988 to pick me up, brought her daughters along. She bought an airline ticket and apparently returned plane ticket. And apparently, when she got to Nigeria, she was trying to come back to America with me in 1988. With her daughters also, she brought them from America with her. But the Nigerian government said that the ticket is now invalid. They said it was issued out of sequence. The Nigerian Airways, perforated the Lagos New York ticket instead of the return ticket, instead of the tour ticket, the New York Lagos ticket. Said the airline ticket was used out of sequence, and they're not going to refund it, and it's no longer valid to travel back to America with me. So me and my mother got stuck in Nigeria. So our daughters would beat her up, saying they don't want to live in Nigeria. So my mother arranged with a white family to take custody of my mother's daughters, Bolani and Flora, here in America. As soon as they got to America, pending joining them, because my mother didn't have enough money to bring me. So as soon as the daughters got to America, they beat up the white family also. So they put them in foster care. So I was stuck in Nigeria with my mother because of the Nigerian government fraudulently invalidated the ticket my mother bought. She was going to travel to America back with me. Invalidated the ticket. So me and my mother got stuck in Nigeria for 10 years. And I've been trying to sue. And my mother said while our daughters were in foster care, they pick up bad behavior. They were already violent. But while in foster care in America, because they didn't want to return back to Nigeria, and my mother couldn't come to America early. So while in foster care, they pick up bad habits, and they eventually were lured, joined the narcotic gang, and they killed my mother. So I'm trying to sue the Nigerian government for holding my mother hostage by invalidating the return ticket my mother was going to bring me to America with in 1988. You know, so I guess the Nigerian government feels like they could just lure me with this Nigerian and even possibly kill me and take over their state. And so they're all using threats of death to try to get me to make contact. And this time, that Nigerian Yemi Asalu moved from Canada here to New York. I always see him in New York all the time. You know, so they're using the police to, to threaten me. I better get in a fake marriage, either with a Nigerian or an American. Either way, I wouldn't survive. The police is going to kill me, and they're going to do whatever they want to my state, because dead people tell no tale. And there's something called parentage estoppel. They say, if you're dead, anybody can just say, while you were alive, you're trying to adopt a child, and the courts always bend over backwards to formalize adoption, especially if there's no any opposition, and if a dead person can't tell no tale. So I think they're bringing this Nigerian to Yemi Asalu to America to be trolling me, touching me. Maybe a plan, if he has any children, for him to claim I adopted his kids or we're in a secret relationship. I always contact him, and that's why I moved to America, whatever. So so I'm a victim of human trafficking between the Nigerian government and the American, and I've been contacting the Nigerian embassy that, look, my passport has been stolen, my mother has been killed, my green card has been stolen, can you help me? They promise to help me, and they don't give me nothing. So this is what is going on. And so apparently a lot of people are aware, and their songs being released singing about my situation, how my mother died. So back to the song I was going to play earlier. A guy named is a Cameroonian singer, and his name is kind of funny, Stanley E. Now. I've been trying to get people to give me money online, and nobody would give me money. I guess, for whatever reason. So he went to Nigeria and recorded a song, that song was just singing about. My mother said her daughter Bolale was planning to kill her. That Bolale was driving a Uber, and is singing about take over lots of money. You see, he went to Nigeria to record a video. He lives in New York City. He's a Cameroonian, and that's a Nigerian church, and he had the taxi, the Nigerian taxi take over. So my mother's address were trying to put me in the psych ward also, and take over the lots of money. I used it as a leverage to bargain with the American government to release the money to them, and move my mother out of America and take over the money. So he was singing about it in the song, and he mentioned the Last Supper. My mother said on Mother's Day, around Mother's Day, the daughters took her to give her food, and he said she suspected that food was laced with counterfeit poison or some poison. Said as soon as she ate that food, she started having symptoms of heart attack. And my mother got on a Greyhound to come to the hospital in New York, because she didn't want to go to the hospital in Pittsburgh, because she was afraid our daughter's gang, narcotic gang, may compromise the doctors. So as soon as my mother got on the Greyhound bus after she ate that food from my mother's daughter, Bolale, that may have been laced, my mother got on the Greyhound bus to run to New York to come to the hospital. She said while on the bus, she had to tell the bus driver to pull over and call an ambulance, because she was about to have a heart attack on the bus on May 13, 2015. And the bus driver called the ambulance, but my mother told the bus driver to keep on driving. My mother said she was very worried about being put in a hospital in Pittsburgh, because she was afraid her dress may compromise her treatment and get the doctors to kill her. So my mother said she started eating aspirin. My mother is a nursing assistant, so she knows about health. If you eat aspirin during a heart attack, it should release the heart attack symptoms. So the bus driver kept driving to New York, and as soon as she got to New York, she was taken to Bellevue Hospital. And then my mother didn't tell her daughters what hospital she was in, and within 3 days, the daughter showed up. So my mother was wondering, how did they get the address and name of the hospital, which is a violation of HIPAA law. HIPAA law is a federal law that protects patients' privacy, And the doctors told the hospital to lock my mother up in the psych ward. You know, so this song was hinting about that. You know, take over. You know, another song that was hinting about it. So many songs have been released talking about the same thing. Another song is Scales by Scales. And I didn't really know about the song until this black American was following me around playing the song near the Penn Station. Every night we would be playing song. He wants to get married. You know, I'll be stalking me, playing the song loud. And then started playing the song Shake Body. And I started listening to the lyrics. I was like, wow, the song is about how my mother died and what my mother was saying her daughters was trying to do. Put her in the mental ward, put me in the mental ward, and get the lots of money. You know, so this song, Scales, the singer was saying, you know, they want to take him for ransom because he's young, rich, and handsome. I was born a male, I'm not a woman. You know, at that time I was still a male. I wasn't a transition. And they released the song as soon as my mother was killed, around the time my mother was killed, saying they want to take him for ransom because he's young.
Shake body. Oh yeah, move body. Make you ring alarm. Oh yeah, shake body. Them girls just they feel me now, 'cause I get some money, then they feel me now. But then they do me anyhow. I don't get some money, they wanna get down. They want hold me for ransom, 'cause I'm young and I'm rich and I'm handsome. They want know where I come from, and they run things from Lagos to London.
You know, so it was saying the girls are feeling him now because he has money. So, and really, there have been a lot of, you know, black American singers that like be singing songs, which I think is about me. You know, even Gunna and Burna Boy released a song, you know, Getting Fucked Tonight. And also was about how a guy took me home and raped me in 2020. He said he wants to get married right away. He took me home in the nighttime, and you know, and at one point he told me he had a friend in the NYPD that wants to join in raping me, you know, because I couldn't find a bathroom to use. They locked up on the bathroom for 4 years, from 2022 to 2024. And the guy took me home, and Gunna and Burna Boy, you know, and at that time I was sending messages to Gunna and Burna Boy on Instagram. You know, it's just so much evidence. I have a British ancestry. One of my last names is McCarthy from my father's side. You know, from my paternal grandmother's side. You know, so at the beginning of the video, they had this girl that had a British accent. I used to have speak with a British accent also when I first got to America, because I used to watch a lot of British shows as a kid. You know, so I had a little bit of a British accent as a kid also.
He's a bitch, literally. Anyway.
You know, so in that video you can see someone's face being covered with a black mask, and I was recently arrested and they choked me with a black mask. So the music is on November 14th. The music that I released is inspiring people to the police to also do the same thing to me. You know, and even when the guy was raping me in 2020, they were playing Burna Boy song. He had just released a song, you know, then which was like, okay, people to forcefully take something from somebody. Say it's a Nakam something. If you know green Nakam something. And as the guy was raping me in his apartment in the Bronx in 2020, because he lured me there to come use the bathroom and was raping me. They were playing the song as he was beating me up and raping me. One of his neighbors was playing the song to quiet my voice so nobody would hear. The Burna Boy song. And after this Burna Boy released a video in which they were covering someone's face with a mask, the police came and choked my face with a mask. So they're treating me like an animal, and my life is not safe. And there's so many. Yes, another song, Feels, that was and even mentioned my mother daughter's name for like and it was singing about money. That my mother daughter Bolani for like was broke before buying drugs, quit her job, and she had a master's degree and was working as a cab driver. And the song is hinting at that finesse, and she even mentioned my mother's daughter's name for like in the song.
Did you know that only 48% of American students get formal AI education?
Fast life, but I see it in slow. All out. Oh no. And you see my lifestyle like I chase in the turbo. See many people there outside with the feet man's oboe. Oh no. And me a stand the defender like Joseph Yobo. But girl say she want Netflix and chill. So I chatty get even money. If you fall in love, Kelly satin. You go to breakfast, I'm not capping. Can you see dripple, I'm not catching. I'm not faking this, no fugazi. You see these feelings, I'm not catching. I'm up west and feet, I just want it. Happiness, if I broke now my business, I'ma show you right. All I care for the night.
No, so that's him mentioning my mother's daughter's middle name for like only for like and it's just so much evidence out there, and the police are relying on a Russian doctor misdiagnosing me as being delusional, because when I first got here to America, my eyes was crossing intermittently, and my mother's daughter was encouraging me to not go to a eye doctor, to go to a psychiatrist, just to have leverage to get me abused, So I went to a Russian psychiatrist instead. I believe she may be from Russia. She has an Eastern European accent. I don't know what country exactly she's from in Europe. And I told her, look, that my eye crosses intermittently, and that I would like her to refer me to a medical doctor, to refer me to an ophthalmologist that specializes in eye muscle disorders. And she was like, that she doesn't see my eye as crossed. I was like, it happens on and off. So that's why I need a eye specialist that deals with eye muscle disorder. So she was like, she's just going to misdiagnose me as delusional. And sometimes people just assume they have medical issues that they don't have. I was like, but you can at least try to verify, by sending me to a eye doctor first. She was like, no, she was just trying to make money, and she didn't want to send me to another doctor. She wanted to keep the money for herself. And then she misdiagnosed me as delusional. And as soon as my mother found out, my mother, under false pretext, took me to her daughters to help me up. My mother took me away from New York City, so I should follow her to Pennsylvania. And when we got to Pennsylvania, even though I had a court case in 2001 at that time in immigration court in New York, my mother allowed me to follow her to Pennsylvania. And when I got there, the daughters hit me with a car and locked me up in a mental ward, Mercy Psychiatric Hospital. downtown Pittsburgh, Liberty Avenue. You know, and I was telling the doctors there that look, I was set up by my mother and her daughters. I have an immigration court case in New York, and my mother didn't want to take care of me anymore. And providing me with housing and food, and this is why she lured me to Pennsylvania the hospital that we're just going to visit for one day. And when I got here, it hit me with a car, called the police on me. I lied, I had a weapon and I was delusional. And they were just trying to get the Pittsburgh police to kill me or to put me in a psych ward. So I will miss my court here and I'll be deported. And even the hospital didn't believe me. And I had to call my lawyer, Ralph DiPietro, my immigration lawyer, who spoke with the hospital. I told him I did have an immigration case. And that's when the hospital told me, like, wow, it was so shocking to us that your mother and her daughters would lie to harm you and get you to miss your immigration court case. But they never got my mother. I said they never got my mother. They never got my. I'm also afraid for my life because anytime they said an American is killed, they always try to kill me in America also. This is a breaking news. But the Pittsburgh Hospital, Mercy Psychiatric Hospital in downtown Pittsburgh, never got my mother arrested or the daughters arrested in 2001. And 14 years later, the daughters did the same thing to my mother as she was. After this, she alleged that poisoned her food with like cancer freeze poison and was triggering my mother to have a heart attack symptom. So my mother knew her daughters were really about that life to kill somebody and hurt the person because they were both all trying to kill me also. So my mother fled to New York from Pennsylvania to come to the hospital here in New York. And the daughters showed up in the hospital here. My mother was thinking the daughters wouldn't have so much leverage in the New York hospital. But the daughters came here, they're part of a narcotic gang, and they were able to locate what hospital my mother was in, even though my mother didn't tell them what hospital she was in. And then, I framed her as crazy. I told the hospital to lock my mother up in the mental ward, and the hospital, Bellevue Hospital, went and locked my mother up in the mental ward on the way that my mother died, because they removed her breathing tube. So this is the. After I was misdiagnosed by the Russian psychiatrist as being delusional, I wouldn't send me to a real eye doctor. I ended up finding a real eye doctor who said I wasn't delusional. I just had strabismus. I said neurologically it's normal with intact mental status. I was a male dominant woman. Cranial, nerve, speech, left, right, orientation, calculation, and logic, blah, 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 blah. And it says, this young man seems to have a breakdown of strabismus, causing alternating exotropia. And said, he may have to do surgery. He did find, Mark Cooper-Smith, neuro-ophthalmologist, the neuro-ophthalmologist, and now correctly diagnosed me that I did have strabismus. So that Russian doctor that misdiagnosed me based on my cross-eye symptoms as crazy, put a death warrant on me. They said, in America, they can just kill you and claim, you've been diagnosed as crazy, and the doctor and the police will kill you and claim, they were just afraid for their own life, So yes, the doctor, Mike Cooper-Smith, in 2002, a year after I was misdiagnosed by the Russian doctor, I found this doctor that who diagnosed me properly. Said Barbatuni Olapopo, misspelled my last name, is Olapopo. He said, was seen for ophthalmology, I don't see it too good, neuro-ophthalmic evaluation on 418. This 20-year-old right-handed gentleman from Nigeria stated that he, as a younger man and as a child, he had no problems functioning in school or schooling until in 1998 when he went through a particularly rough year with poor nutrition. Since then, or since that time, he has the complaint of his eye shifting off the target, so that he cannot really fixate or focus on any particularly thing. It doesn't have oculopsia nor double vision. It feels that his eyes move to the right and left when they are closed. It has no other common neurological complaints and is on no medication, and it went on blah blah blah. It said it has, however, in particular, there are no square rejects. He has, however, an alternating esotropia of four I think 4 diameters or whatever, and so, but basically the summary, he said, neurologically I'm normal, so I don't have any Parkinson's with intact mental status, and he said I have strabismus. So the full medical report can be gotten from, is in my email. I sent it in my AOL email, abatula@aol.com, and it's the New York Eye and Ear Infirmary. It's at what's the address again? My camera is not clear. 170 East Avenue and 87th Street, New York, New York. Their phone number is 212-870-943. And also around that 2001, my mother was working full time and going to school full time, and she couldn't speak properly. So I called 911 to take her to the hospital, and that hospital they took her to Bailey City Hospital. Their name was also called St. Vincent Hospital. And because my mother used to call that hospital on me, call the police department hospital, because she and her daughters around 2000 used to try to frame me as mentally ill so that she can abandon me in the mental ward, and so she doesn't have to take care of me for my immigration case. So anytime they call the police on me, I would tell the doctor at the hospital that my mother's just trying to dump me by framing mental illness on me, so that she would have to take care of me. She can move on with her life, and I could be stuck in the mental ward. So there was a Sri Lankan doctor that told my mother that if she ever does it again, she's going to get her arrested. That this is abuse of an immigrant. You don't try to dump an immigrant having an immigration case in the mental ward. So but in 2001, my mother started having trouble sleeping because she was working full time, going to school full time, and my lawyer abandoned me because after he spoke with the hospitals in Pennsylvania, and found out that even my own family was framing me up as crazy, he stopped showing up in court. He decided to abandon me, thought, he doesn't give a shit either. So the judge told my mother to get me a new lawyer, and my mother couldn't really afford it, and Adoras wouldn't help her, even though Adoras had stolen like $400,000 from my bank account, because my mother wanted money for lead poisoning, and when she went to Nigeria, Adoras took the money by faking her signature, and Adoras was going on vacation to Mexico, Disney World, and all that, and this left my mother stuck to take care of me. So my mother was trying to work harder, and she ended up having a high blood pressure, and she told me she couldn't sleep. So I called 911 to take her to the hospital in 2001. And when we went to that same hospital, the doctor saw me and saw her and decided to frame my mother up as crazy. She was like a Sri Lankan doctor. I misdiagnosed my mother as depressed, blah, 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 blah. Just to give my mother a taste of the medicine my mother used to give me. Even Trump was hinting at it. So this Trump, I criticized him a lot, and the FBI has told him everything about me. So he tells me this year he shut down the economy, and he claims some people don't deserve to be collecting food stamp in America. So so we're going to give them a taste of the medicine. That Sri Lankan doctor decided to misdiagnose my mother as depressed and crazy, because my mother used to do it to me. It's called the police to send me to that hospital, St. Vincent Hospital. So that Sri Lankan doctor decided to misdiagnose my mother as depressed, and 14 years later, our daughters used that misdiagnosis to tell the hospital, Bellevue Hospital, to lock my mother up. So, I've been facing so much injustice, and they said this is the life of a black person in America. Even Michael Jackson, his father said when they were calling his son Michael Jackson, he knew one day they were going to kill him and claim he died due to his craziness. He said when they start calling a black person crazy in America, so that person needs to watch out, because two people that don't have rights are blacks and crazy people. And they said one day when they called him that his son was in his house with propofol, a very powerful sedative, and was injecting himself, and he said he knew that doctor was guilty, because why would you have a powerful sedative administered at home? And so that's why he led the call for the doctor to be arrested. And even though, because of Michael Jackson's fame, the doctor was arrested and stuff, but they say if it was a commoner, a lot of medical misdiagnosis like that, or medical malpractice like that, the doctors don't go to prison. So this Sri Lankan doctor decided to give my mother a taste of her own medicine by framing my mother as crazy. And Trump is just making fun of the situation, because I criticize him a lot, and he said he's going to do the same thing to me. He's going to have me killed, misdiagnosing me. And since then, the police burst the door open, taking that cue, and says we're going to lock me up in the mental ward. And even, I think it's a mental facility. And I told them no. I said you can't use a rules that somebody said I stole a cell phone to break into the bathroom door and be choking me, and then you don't find no stolen cell phone, and say you want to lock me up in the mental ward. I said you raped me, you were touching my genitalia, and they say, and not to discredit me, say you're going to lock me. I told them if you dare do that, I will talk with the doctor, I will talk with the nurse, and I told them, I said the doctor and nurse will eventually have you charged, because they will say, yeah, I was angry when you invaded the bathroom and lied on me that I stole a cell phone. I said, anybody can get angry, that's not crazy. I said, you're going to look stupid. I said, don't do it, and then I said, okay, we will just, make up another lie that you were very disorderly, and we're going to charge you and bring you to court. And then they charged me with disorderly conduct. And I think it's just the rules to get me to appear in court and have the court force me to go to a mental home and claim I'm mentally retarded and claim I'm wearing dirty clothes. They don't let me take a shower, so my shoe may appear dirty. So this is what this Eric Adams said they should be doing. You find every excuse, the court should find every excuse to lock homeless up in a mental ward. They say in Oklahoma, there's an Oklahoma Disability Center, they said they found out that, people that are in mental homes, when they get abused, even when you file a lawsuit for them, the jury doesn't take them serious and will let the workers go scot-free. So this is what is going on, whereby they said once they misdiagnose you as crazy, it's like ammunition to get you killed. You know. So this is what's going on. I'm still scrolling for more evidence. There's still more evidence in my email. So that's why I'm quiet a little bit. It's just so much, and I can't get no assistance. It's like some people, they don't want me to get any assistance. They'll rather have me killed and take over my estate, because this is what the U.S. government wants. You know, they would rather, I know, have me killed and have somebody inherit money from my estate and bribe the NYPD people that killed me and the American gangs that joined in abusing me, so as to use me as a scapegoat. So anybody else that tries to, they said that the law enforcement in America are very worried about civil rights activism. Civil rights activism is all the police officers have to go to court to defend themselves, and they're trying to create use a scare. So by killing activists, they said they've been killing activists allegedly, like Martin Luther King, his family is alleged the FBI was involved in killing him, and they hired the assassin that killed him and only paid his family like $100, because they could only sue in the family sued late. The Martin Luther King family, they sued late because they didn't get the evidence early that the FBI was allegedly involved. But part of the plan to kill Martin Luther King was hatched in one of the Carolinas, either North Carolina or South Carolina. And they were able to sue under the laws there, which allows you to sue very late, but you can only win $100. And they did find like the FBI guilty, but the family only got $100 because the suit so late, they didn't find evidence on it. So I'm still looking for further evidence. There's just so much evidence in my emails. And I'm very worried if they harm me in the future, they will just erase all my email, all my make sure my mail doesn't get justice, make sure the government doesn't get justice. So this is to show my mother wasn't mentally ill. Even though our social security card number is showing, I'm trying to hide it. He said, this is my mother's, Esther LaBeouf, put as her name. She's now dead, so nobody should use her social security number. I'm just, for my own safety, this is why I have to expose all of this. This is my own self-defense under the law. I'm allowed to defend myself. Regardless, somebody's dead, you can't really use their social security number. The social security administration will have already flagged that it's dead. So if you try to use it for work purposes, it's going to get you in legal trouble. I don't know why this camera is so unclear. So my camera is not so clear. Let me try to. Let me just try. Okay. Hopefully it's much. So this is my mother's name, Esther Lapopo. So Esther Lapopo is diagnosed with aortic dissection. This was in 2001. Her condition needs surgical intervention. She refuses surgery due to her religion. She's advised to avoid pulling, lifting, pushing, and any psychological stress, which can increase her blood pressure and cause further aortic dissection. Aortic dissection is a life-threatening condition, and in my opinion, she's disabled and not able to return to work as an occupation. So this was around 2003 when she had the heart condition. I said she was refusing surgery due to her religion, and she went to Nigeria and she got healed in a Nigerian church, synagogue church. In 2003, she went to Nigeria. So she's always told the hospitals in America that she doesn't want to have surgery due to her religion. Then 2015, they said she had a new heart condition, and she was telling the hospital that she would like to pray first, and if she needs any surgery, she wants to go to Israel, and her daughters were just trying to get her killed. I told the hospital to not respect our religion and just lock her up. How come the other doctors respect her? This is the Standard Medical Group. How come the other doctors respect her and didn't call the ambulance to lock her up? These are doctors that have examined my mother in the past, and they saw that she was mentally competent. Zank. She always goes to doctors herself. So our daughters are clearly lined up. My mother wasn't crazy. Even my mother filed court papers saying she wanted to travel to Israel to get her surgery done, and the police had stolen her passport. Around 2010, 5 years later, our daughter said she trying to go to Israel to get surgery and to pray is crazy, and they framed my mother as crazy. Otherwise, why didn't our medical doctor call the ambulance on her? Say, look, this woman claims she believes in God, and we think this is crazy. My mother wasn't crazy. Even when this incident happened, I went to Queen Hospital where she was admitted at, and the doctors told me she's refusing surgery, and I told them they should abide by whatever she stated, that they shouldn't just look into any prior misdiagnosis, because before that, 2 years later, a Sri Lankan doctor was trying to pay my mother back, because my mother used to have the police frame me up as crazy and have the police try to lock me up in the St. Vincent Hospital in 2001. So when that Sri Lankan doctor saw my mother came to the hospital, that Sri Lankan doctor knew me. She decided to frame my mother up as crazy, which in 2001 as the press, which was the tool our daughters used to kill her 14 years later. So that Sri Lankan doctor needs to be arrested. I don't know if she's Indian or Sri Lankan, but she looks Indian and Sri Lankan to me. So this was going on. So we blacks have been victims of medical misdiagnosis, and this Trump is aware and starting to use it as a leverage and encouraging people to kill me also. And this year is shut down the economy, and even admitted that the reason for the shutdown is because some people are here collecting benefits, and we don't want them. He doesn't want them, those people to collect benefits, and it's going to make sure those people get a taste of their own medicine. So he wants me gone the same way my mother is gone. Through medical misdiagnosis and endurance to weaponize it. So please, my life is in danger. Please donate to my Cash App NYC Homeless. I again restate, I solemnly swear under the perjury laws of the United States, I'm not looking for marriage or surrogacy or membership in any societal cult. In case somebody kills me and said I wanted to be killed or whatever, no, I didn't want to be killed. As part of my seeking donation, I'm only seeking donation for charitable, non-conditional charitable financial donation to my Cash App and Homeless, or to me in person. And also, in case I get killed, nobody should make a movie about me. I'm very private about my image, and I'm very good about my image, and I don't trust anybody to be able to represent me truly as I am. I really don't talk with people. People don't really know my personal life. Even when the immigration arrested me in 2000, they asked me, they wanted to send me back, and I told them, my father was abusive to me, and the immigration asked me, do I have any witnesses, anybody I spoke with, even my mother's daughters. I said no, I didn't really tell them about the abuse because I'm an introvert. So I said my immigration file A7795468. That, in 2000, I did tell the immigration that, even though I'm forced to talk about my life now, really, I don't be talking about my life, except now that my life is under threat. So this is just a cohesion, lawful cohesion, as, I have no choice. So please donate to my Cash App NYC Homeless. I'm not looking for marriage or surrogacy or any membership in any Santa Claus cult. I'm not looking for anybody to deposit anything in anybody's chimney. I'm a Christian, and I'm offended that people will try to link Christianity to Santa Claus. And also, nobody should make a movie about me in case I die. I don't want anybody to claim I came here to become Michael Jackson, and the Michael Jackson family using the Michael Jackson's nephew to do a movie about Michael Jackson. As my mother's daughter also Flora was trying to get her son that looks like Michael Jackson also to do a movie about me. So I came to America to become Michael Jackson, and I died in the process. So this is just pure evil, and this has to be investigated, And I've been noticing a lot of Hollywood stars have been coming around me, and they wouldn't say nothing as I'm begging for money. I'm like, why are they all stalking me, So apparently, they're waiting till I get killed, and they can then claim, look, to add credence, to the movies, to such movie about me, saying I came to America to look like Michael Jackson. They can just say, like, we saw that person, and their voice sounded like Michael Jackson, and they kind of look like it through their mask, And even as this rapper, Jim Jones, he used to talk about me, hint about my situation, and I would ask him for money online, and he wouldn't give me any money on Instagram. But I started seeing him on the street, walk past me, and when I asked him for money, he wouldn't give me any money either. They started rapping, say, we're too big for them, they can't handle us, so we send our girls on to them to set them up, And apparently the guy that took me home and raped me in 2020, he had a large body member. And while he was raping me, he was very hurtful, and he said he just wanted to get married. He didn't really like me, he was just trying to rape me, to get married and stuff. I told him I'm not looking for marriage, and he kicked me out of his house, And one day, around that Chambers and Greenwich Street area, I was sitting down in the park, in front of a park on a chair. I fell asleep around 1 a.m. and I noticed this white female. She was touching me at 1 a.m. and she was acting like in a sexual way towards me. And I'm looking at her like, look, I'm gay. I was born a man. I'm a woman. I'm not really interested in you. And she took off her clothes and covered me with it and stuff. So apparently they've been sending women to try to lure me to take me home, and then they can just rape and kill me and steal my sperm and claim, I volunteered my sperm, and I was, so they've been trying to frame me up as a straight person disguising as a gay person, like, how does that even make sense? A straight person disguising as a gay person, they said some straight people would pretend to be women, like this Tyler Perry. Even though the people that accused him that's really gay, they said, he was claiming to be straight, but he would act as a woman, just to get a woman to rape me and take my sperm and look like I volunteered voluntarily. You know, so under the gender violence law, the people that want to traffic me and claim I'm a straight person that disguises as a gay person. They say some straight people do that for asylum purposes. You know, but you know, I'm 44 years old. I don't have a child. I've been single all my life. That's like a typical gay person's life. You know. So, but they just trying to make it easy for me to be raped, a woman to take me home, kidnap me, rape me, steal my sperm. And in case anybody raises their eyebrow, like, that person has always been gay. So that's why they try to force me away from the women's bathroom, the men's bathroom. So make it like, no, that person was just pretending. Maybe the person was worried the immigration may try to deport them. And that's why they're just freaking gay, just to get asylum. See some straight people from Africa do fake being gay, you know. He said there was a case in London. This guy claimed he was gay, but apparently he had children in Nigeria and he had children in London also, and they denied him asylum. So I guess they just try to scapegoat me and rape me and traffic me, and this is the worst. So 500 years of slavery in America, it never ended 500 years ago. You know, it's back in effect. So please go to my Cash App and NYC so I can rent an hotel room, hire investigators. I want to investigate this. And just keep myself safe and avoid their public bathrooms. And the MTS CEO, John Oliver, said he has come up with a plan to permanently remove homeless people from the subway using tricks. So apparently they just want to be killing Africans like me to scare the other homeless away from the subway. So they want to use me as the proverbial scapegoat. So this is white supremacy unleashing its worst horror on African. Again, it's 10 million Africans were killed during the slave trade to America, and now they just want to scare Africans from coming here by making sure even when we come here, we're abused by the immigration, we're abused by the police, we don't get nothing. They will send an American gang to kill Africans like me and to inherit my state. And you know, and they've been trying to create a smooth path. So when I use a bathroom like this here, and I try to use the Wi-Fi upstairs, they don't like that. Because they feel if somebody gives me money, through me begging for money on Wi-Fi, anybody can then, you know, use a leverage and claim, yeah, that person was diagnosed as crazy, that person used to bother us in the bathroom, and we have a secret diary. You know, so this is why they try to scare me away from using Wi-Fi wherever there's a bathroom. You know, wherever I use the bathroom at. You know, they want me to be, they said kidnappers and abusers would always try to, you know, hide the victim so that there won't be any evidence on why they were, so no evidence will surface on how they were kidnapped and stuff. There'll be no trail of evidence. You know, and with the internet and, you know, anywhere you go, you use the internet, use Wi-Fi, you use the bathroom, you know. So I used to go to that Chambers Street and go on Instagram, send videos on Instagram. So since then, they don't want me to use the bathroom at Chambers Street station. Because I've been sending videos on Instagram from there. This is why they came and choked me on November 14th just to stop me from using the bathroom there. Because they're afraid if I get eventually killed, people will claim, people can claim, yeah, that person used to bother us in the bathroom, yeah, that person was crazy, quite alright, and want to sue their state. So they're trying to reduce any liability on my state so that the person that kills me and inherits my state wouldn't have to worry about lawsuit. So they're trying to lure potential people that will kill me and steal from my state by, making it look attractive that, look, this person has zero liability. We were able to scare them away from any potential liability. Like bathrooms like this, they consider it a liability. Because they said even this trouble was like, a woman said he came and hugged her from behind while she was shopping in Bloomingdale's and sexually abused her, assaulted her. So this is why, to erase any future liability against my state so that the person that would eventually kill me wouldn't have to worry about any liability. That's why they try to scare me away from using the bathroom anywhere there's Wi-Fi. So they need to arrest all these people, including the people that planted the bathroom to fight me and call the police on me. They don't want me to use the bathroom where I use the Wi-Fi. And I believe to ABC News and all that stuff. Yeah, where, and this stuff helping me. I was listening to ABC News and they'll be making ABC Radio. They'll be making comments like, the drug use in America is marijuana use is getting bigger and bigger. A lot of people are using marijuana. Anytime I use the bathroom like this, they'll call the police on me, so I'm using marijuana. I used to go use the bathroom at DeKalb Avenue station, and upstairs I'll go use the phone to record videos. And this funny guy told me, don't ever come and use the bathroom here anymore. We're going to fuck you up. Claim you're using drugs in the bathroom, and they'll call the police on me. So apparently, because downstairs I would use the bathroom at DeKalb Avenue train station, and I'll go upstairs to record videos, and I noticed I wouldn't get no help on Instagram. And apparently, they don't want me to be using the bathroom and be recording videos near that area. So anybody that would kill me in the future and try to inherit money from my estate wouldn't have to do with any liability from my estate, because people that may claim, that person was diagnosed as crazy and that person used to put us in the bathroom, and we have proof it was that same person, because that person, the internet history shows they would post videos after using the bathroom. So this one that's scared from the bathroom and would rather kill me so I don't incur any liability, potential liability, to my estate, so this is the worst savage. I've been contacting FIFA to help investigate this incident. FIFA gave Trump an award. He said FIFA president is friends with Trump. So this is a 3-hour video, and I still have more evidence than this. And the Congress's investigators, this is the worst genocide type and abuse and human trafficking in the human industry, where the U.S. government and the NYPD, and this Eric Adams, the mayor, is friends with Eric Garner as his childhood friend, and I think he wants me dead also like his friend, because some black Americans don't want Africans, to be above them. And since his friend got killed, his childhood friend got killed while helping Eric Garner, this Eric Adams has been trying to get me killed also. And since he's been sending his police to be arresting Africans and locking us, to be arresting the homeless and locking us in a psych ward, which is a ruse to kill. They said when they're trying to, a lot of black Americans, when they try to put them in psych ward, they put them. Every guy they were trying to put them in psych ward, also still was aggressive, killed them. A guy called Elijah McClain in 2019, they said that the police was trying to put them in psych ward, kill them also. So many black Americans they killed while trying to lock them in psych ward. So this is very serious. What's going on?